Or in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the game that may define not only the series, but the spring of 2024 for the Boston Celtics. They beat the Pacers in overtime.
Well, it's some Joe show. We've seen it. Nobody wants to be there. It's a big bad show tonight. Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Yeah, it's a Joe show. There's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Anyone who gets hit by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray. First time I ever met Joe Murray was...
Welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Full show tonight. Open phone lines to you. And we are on YouTube. If you want to jump in the chat tonight and chat it up with us, youtube.com/The Sports Hub. It's growing, everybody. It's growing. We like it. We interact. Skaz is here tonight. Christina, our intern, is here tonight. And we'll open up the phone. 617-779-0985. There are things to talk about outside of the Celtics. Don Sweeney spoke today. We'll get his thoughts. We'll give you my thoughts on what he said today, because he said a couple of things to me that, So we'll get into that. We'll let you hear some of that audio. And we will talk with Mike Kadlick later on tonight, CLNS, and get his thoughts on anything happening with the Patriots or the NFL. I know there's some TV right deals happening with the NBA. We're going to talk to Brian Robb tonight, Mass Live, of course, here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. So, full show tonight, in or out, Murray's Musings. We are here for it and here for you at 617-779-0985. The Celtics won a game last night that they should have lost. They stole a game. It's okay to say they stole a game. I was on last night post-game, immediately after the game. Everything that people want to say about the Celtics, right? All the stereotypes, all the narratives, all the chronicles, all the whatever came to roost last night. Late game situations. This team hasn't played any real closeout games. They haven't been challenged. All those things happened. Jason Tatum missed shots at the end of the game. All that happened. Turnovers, missed free throws. They struggled from three. They faced a team that could score just as much as they did. Oh, their coach isn't good enough. All of those things were on display last night. Every single one of them. They still won the game. So, you might be right. These things might be true about the Celtics. What I say about the Celtics front-running their way and being the better team is also true. It's also true. It was a statement game by a team that is the best in the NBA. Yeah, they blew a lead like they always do. They fell behind like they always do. They almost lost like they used to do. Then they tied the game. And it was the other superstar who hit the big three last night. And in overtime, it was Jason Tatum in a clutch situation who closed the door. Teammates, Tatum and Brown did it together. I gave you the number yesterday before the game. The Celtics have struggled in Eastern Conference Finals game ones. Last night, they went into it 1-4. They always have struggled. And this year, it's been game number 2, which we'll get into in just a little bit. The Celtics were the better team last night. Better team doesn't always win, but they did last night. They faced adversity, right? They faced adversity and met the challenge. They did blow leads. They did fall behind. They did miss free throws. They did turn the ball over. They did not hit big shots late when it mattered. All those things happened. Guess what? they won the game. So today, I would like to celebrate the win. They know they have things they need to clean up. They know it. After the game, Jaylen Brown, first guy to do it. And I'm starting to wonder if he's the true leader on the team. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine that they have a leader that is vocal. People want it to be Jason Tatum so much. And I have numbers on Tatum on the court versus off the court that will blow your mind. But the overtime, the Celtics faced adversity. They met the challenge. They won the game. They stole a game they should have lost. Last year's team would have lost. They would have lost this game last year, and you know it. So you can continue to have your narratives, your chronicles. Oh, they pulled it out of their butt. All that. Go ahead. They're still winning games. They're still the best team in the NBA. They still have the two best players remaining in the playoffs. So they should have lost. They won. So get the music ready tonight, Skaz. Get the Gino music ready tonight. There it is. If you want to call it and say, but Joe Tatum stinks. Oh, they still can't do it, and I think they're still going to blow it. Last night, they should have lost. You know what? They still won. They still won the game. They sucked. They couldn't hit their free throws. They couldn't stop anybody late. They won. Oh, Jason Tatum can't hit big. Jason Tatum. They won. They won the game. Isn't that why you play the games? To win the games? Oh, they pulled the game out of their ass, Joe. Oh, they're going to blow it again. A game they should have lost, they won. They played terrible and still won. We're opening up there tonight at 617-779-0985. And wait until you hear the public perception of the Celtics. Again, it is so easy to sit behind a microphone and say, they're not tough enough. They don't have a dog on their team. Oh, in clutch situations, you don't want Jason Tatum with the ball. Oh, Joe Mazzulla, he's going to screw it up. They take too many threes. They don't hit their free throws. They turn the ball over. They don't have a guy that can handle the ball late. All of those things are true. Guess what? They still won the game. They still win games. They're still the best team in the NBA. Sure, the Celtics won the game. What if they didn't? You have to take that into consideration, Joe, right? Nope. They won the game. It's a matter of winning games. In the end, all we care about is who wins. Last night, the Celtics did that. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Shouldn't you praise them? Actually, oh, they haven't played any tough games. Oh, they haven't played a game that's tough, that's meaningful. We don't know what they really need that. I don't know. Was last night not good enough for you? Was it boring? Were they not entertaining enough? Because that's all I've heard about the Celtics, or even Indiana for that matter. Were you entertained by last night? You know why you were? Because you saw the two best offenses in the league and the better team win the game. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We're here all night. Load up those phone lines. Jump into YouTube. Skaz is here as well. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
taken the timeout, advanced the ball, and found a way to get it in and made a free throw or two and ended the game. But it didn't happen, and we made some other mistakes, but our guys just need to concentrate on fighting the way they fought in this game from start to finish, and we'll be back Thursday.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Phone lines are loaded, and we'll let you guys react. This is the spot to do it. And if you want to crap on the Celtics, go ahead. I got music for you, though. You can do that. All those things will be true. What is also true? They won the game. You know who blew the game? The coaching matchup. Rick Carlisle. He's won a championship before as a coach and as a player. Woo! Right? Oh, he is just so much smarter than Joe Mazzulla and blah. How did that one work out last night? And by the way, I thought Mazzulla was really good last night. The after timeout, he was flawless. He nailed both of them. I think they went 3 for 3 out of the timeout last night, and late in the game, they were very good. Listen, Rick Carlisle is a damn good coach. He's a damn good coach. I wanted him to be the Celtics coach before they hired Ime, and when Brad Stevens was moving on. Guy has won in this league. He's well respected. But last night, I don't know what happened with him. Was it a brain fart? Was it a let's just inbound the ball and end this thing and go home? Like the Celtics had their chance and that's it? Did they not realize they were going up against one of the best defensive teams in the league? And here's another thing. Skaz, you remember this before pregame last night? I said, hey, look for Jaylen Brown to have a big game. He got snubbed on not being all defensive team. Who made the big defensive play there? Jaylen Brown. He made the big shot too. All I'm saying with Carlisle is, dude, you've been through this before. You've been in this situation multiple times. You've had teams that weren't that good that you made good. And you have a good one there that had the Celtics against the ropes, literally almost down for the 10 count. Like if this was wrestling, 1, 2, and then the whole crowd would be yelling 2. You couldn't submit them. You call the timeout. You have one timeout left. How is that timeout working for you today? How's that timeout working for you? Use it. Advance the ball. Because you know what happens? You inbound the ball, it goes out of bounds. Now you give the basketball back to the Celtics under their own basket. And you gave them the opportunity. That alone cost you the game. And what happened there? You don't foul. We'll let you hear what everyone else in the league, specifically LeBron James, says about being up 3 and fouling. Because you know what? You have to do it. And by the way, the Pacers got away with that in the Knicks series with Nembhard, if you remember that. You just went through that. Just went through it. He should be criticized today. That should be the story. The story should be how the Pacers blew the game because their coach didn't advance the ball, didn't use a timeout, and actually didn't foul up 3 as his team benefited from in the round before. He should have known better. Should have known better. That's the story today. That's the story. Rick Carlisle blew game 1 on the road against the best team in the NBA. Instead, what are people talking about? The Celtics won the game, but you know what? They really pulled it a rabbit out of their hat. That Tatum guy, late in games, he just doesn't have it. They keep missing their free throws and the turnovers and all that. All those things are true. The Celtics still won the game. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We'll start with Nick in Walpole. What's going on, Nick? You're on the Sports Hub.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for taking the call. Listen, you're allowed to both be critical of the Celtics and be glad that they won. I don't think anyone watches that game last night like, oh, dang, the Celtics won. That makes me really upset. That's not what people are saying. You're allowed to be happy they won. But also, I'm not really confident in them going forward. They didn't really impress me that much last night. Like, you're allowed to not be impressed by them. And that's okay. Just because they won the game doesn't mean, you're not allowed to criticize them at all. And I think that's kind of where you're missing a lot of people's point here.
Oh, I'm not missing the point at all. I do. I work. I work this show every single night, Nick. I work every single post game. When they were winning by 30, nobody said those things. When they were winning by 30, people were still saying those things. Oh, you can be critical. Go ahead. They won. They won the game. I think people miss that. When the Patriots were down 28-3, I'm crossing sports if that's okay for everybody. I know you only listen to other shows, and sometimes you don't listen to this one. This show here has been consistent. Very consistent on the Celtics all year. Not green teamers. We're just right. We have told you that they can front run their way to a championship this year. That's where they're headed. They don't need to win close games. They did last night. Something everyone says they can't do, which might be true, but they did. Oh, Tatum and Brown, they don't do much in clutch time. I don't know. Last night I saw a clutch shot by Jaylen Brown, and I saw clutch shots by Jason Tatum. Doesn't make me a green teamer. It makes me right that they can do those things. That's what it is. So, yeah, you can be critical of this, that, and I don't trust them and this and that. They're the better team, and they're the best team remaining. That's a fact. I feel like people don't want to dig into that thing. They don't want to accept it. They want to take the field instead of thinking and believing that their team that they watch on a nightly basis that beats everybody else wins at an 80% clip, by the way. Did you know that no other playoff team has ever started 9-2? This is a good basketball team, a great basketball team that has tons of flaws, but you know what they do well? Win. Getting back to the Patriots 20-3 thing, should we have done what if they didn't win? Should we have done that? Do you want to do that, Skaz? Hey, what if the Celtics didn't win last night?
No, I'm not really interested.
No.
In
what
that.
if the Celtics didn't win? What do you want to do?
Then we'd be hammering them.
Man, Tatum late in games.
And rightfully so. We'd be crushing them.
Joe Mazzulla he sucks. He
got
Tatum
out-coached. Was bad.
Yep.
He had a horrible turnover, terrible fadeaway jumper that made no sense. But if you want a real green teamer take that I did see on Twitter today, Tatum taking that rushed fadeaway jumper saved them enough time so Jaylen could hit the three at the
end. So he gets criticized for doing the fadeaway.
Which he should. Absolutely should get criticized.
But because
he rushed
it gave them more time.
If you're really drinking the Kool-Aid,
I'm not drinking the green Kool-Aid.
No, I'm not going that far. That was something I saw.
I just think that you and I, again, we're labeled green teamers. I'm not. I don't have an interest in the Celtics. I would like to be critical of them. The people realize they were up by this basketball team last night. Despite blowing all the leads and the turnovers and the free throws and all those things, we're up by double digits in every single quarter last night.
It's the Eastern Conference Finals. It's not supposed to be easy. The Pacers are historically the second best offense in NBA history. It's not going to be easy.
Behind who?
Behind this year's Celtics team.
Got it. So they lost the game at the end of a game to the better team?
You got it.
Just wanted to make sure that happened. So that good team lost to the better team. Just want to make sure that that's what you're saying, Skaz, just so we're clear on it.
Yeah, and call me a green teamer, but I expect the Celtics to win the title. The Celtics won 64 games this year? Joe, how do you feel about the Celtics going 7-6 the rest of the season?
That's all they need to do?
All the Celtics have to do is go 7-6, and they are NBA champions. And I don't care how it looks.
Don't make me bring up the pizza analogy.
Jason Tatum was abysmal late in the fourth quarter, but they won the game. Jaylen Brown made a huge play, made a couple huge plays. Drew Holiday made a huge play. Tatum, I thought, swallowed Halliburton whole at the end of regulation, put him in the corner, couldn't get a good look. They came through. This is a game they lose the last couple of years. They're trying to show us that this year is different.
Oh, they're progressing, right? They're closing out games at home. They won again at home last night, something they're criticized for. Can we just go over that Carlisle play real quick? Not advancing the ball, then not using the timeout, and then not fouling on the three. The three, if you watch the play, people might not have looked at the whole, like that was a Joe Mazzulla design it, use Jason Tatum as the decoy. By the way, how are you not like defending the corner on the inbounder? So I thought Drew Holiday had a nice little spin for the pass because the way that Jalen caught the ball, he could have just set up. By the way, he was confident. He thought he was going to hit the shot. He talked about that right after the game last night. But did you see what Tatum was doing on that play? Who he gets so criticized for and being terrible? Did you see what he did there on that final play to help Jaylen Brown get that shot off? Right? So, I mean, where do you give the credit to the guys? Is it only when they lose and miss shots late in games and turn the ball over? Or do you want to credit them for being teammates and as a team winning games together? Like, I've said this, how many times have you heard me say, Jason Tatum's not going to be a guy to take over the game and just win it by himself. He's not that guy.
And it's
okay.
He can be that guy.
No, he can be, but you know what? He's not this mean
Philadelphia,
mug, right? Like, take over, grab the bull by the horn kind of guy.
Philadelphia. He did it in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Went off in the fourth quarter. He did it against the Bucks, Game 6. So, like, that's the thing I push back on is, can Tatum disappear in big moments? Absolutely. But to act like he's never done it or can't do it, I think is ridiculous.
The narrative is that he doesn't do it.
Yeah, because he fails sometimes. Because the expectations are so high, and rightfully so. Because if Jason Tatum is who we think he is, he should come through in those situations.
So did Jaylen Brown bail out Jason Tatum last night?
I mean, if you want to say that, fine. I get that narrative, that chronicle. But what about the first, 38 minutes of that game where Jason Tatum was far and away the best player on the floor? What about them
being teammates and being a good team? And that's what you do. Like, some guy's not playing well. Somebody else steps up, right? Drew Holiday had the best game he's ever played as a Celtic.
Yeah, Holiday was fantastic last night.
They're a team.
And Horford shouldn't be taking 12 threes. So,
people are missing that they're a team. The team struggled. Tatum individually struggled. He struggled from three all playoffs long. All playoff long. You know what, though? In overtime, how'd he do? Team scored 16 points. He was in double digits. Right? Got an and one and then a step back three to send everybody good night, right?
And he hit his free throws.
But Jaylen Brown bails him out.
Jaylen Brown hit his free throws, too, which is something that's been, a worry.
By the way, was that the same chronicle when Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot and not LeBron James?
Bailed him out. Steve Kerr bailing out Jordan.
Oh, yeah. John Paxson, too, right?
Bailing him out.
Bailing out Michael Jordan, let me tell you. Robert Horry bailing out Tim Duncan.
I don't remember hearing about Naz Reid bailing out Anthony Edwards the other night.
Oh, this is going to be fun tonight. Eric is in Boston. Hey, Eric.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How you doing?
Hey, listen, I would say this, right? I want to wholeheartedly agree with everything you're saying. Like, the Celtics fan of me, want to agree. But Joe Mazzulla, in real time, drove me insane. Those leads evaporated while both having Pritchard and Hauser on the court, where our teams already depleted at a big man when Pritchard just kept getting blown by. They were hunting Pritchard to post him. And he'll call the timeout when the lead gets cut to one. That drove me insane. So I think the Pacers loss is due to the inexperience. I think that favors the Celtics. But overall, Joe Mazzulla, in my mind, almost handed the game over. Just somewhat Brad Stevens.
Who was the better coach last night?
Because they
won. No, answer the damn question.
Because they won. But no, they won,
answer
right?
it.
If they lost, would you say the same thing if they lost?
Eric, answer the question.
Fine. I'm gonna answer your question.
No! Rick Carlisle blew the game! He blew the game! He blew the game! Rick Carlisle blew the game. He said it himself.
Do you think
why can't people answer questions? Why can't people admit facts? What is the problem? What is going on with people? Why can't he admit when Rick Carlisle admitted it himself? I'm not even, here I am trying to pull teeth from this caller named Eric from Boston.
You don't want to play the if game? The if it happened? So that guy's perspective, if the Celtics lost last night, would we be saying Jason Tatum had a better game than Tyrese Halliburton? Because he did. But no one would be saying that because they lost. Rick Carlisle cost them the game. Joe Mazzulla was a better coach than Rick Carlisle last night.
Better coach last night. Just answer the question. Answer it.
And I'm 100% with him. The Hauser minutes were a disaster. The Pritchard minutes were not good.
Tatum not coming out in the first quarter was something they haven't done yet.
Yes, that was the first time since Porzingis has been hurt that Tatum was taken out.
When the game was close and Mazzulla called timeout, they were great after the timeout.
And I think one of the biggest switches in the game was putting Tatum on Miles Turner in the second half.
Yeah, how'd he do?
Didn't see much
How
of him.
did he do?
Didn't see much of him.
If you don't want to credit the Celtics, fine. Don't give me what ifs anymore. Don't. And let me pay off my 28-3. If the Patriots lost that day, if they lost, right? If. Who was the better coach that day? Right? Who was the better coach that day? All those things. If Julian Edelman, happy birthday, by the way, doesn't catch the ball, what happens? What is this, a Gatorade commercial now? We're now looking back at things. If this didn't happen, if that didn't happen. You know what happened last night? Rick Carlisle, a great coach who's won championships, blew the game, and you have to admit it. Don't give me the if anymore. Facts. Not F-A-X. F-A-C-T-S. Facts. He blew the game last night and was not the better coach. 617-779-0985. I see you guys lined up. Oh, I already see it. Carlisle, the better coach. Here we go. Here until 11 o'clock tonight on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right. Head to game 2 after their 133-128 win. Yes, they...
cooked, and then he'd settle again. And late in regulation, he missed a three, a wide-open three. And on a rebound, he decided to go fade away instead of powering back up as well.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We're here until midnight tonight. Skaz is here. We worked the game last night. We had Cerrone on post-game. It wasn't long because, we got out at midnight, but pretty much everything everyone says about the Celtics is, sure, it's true, but can you just put on at the end of it that they won the game? Just because, I'm fired up tonight. I am fired up. This is the Celtics, which is mainstream basketball. There are a lot of green teamers. And by the way, when someone calls me a green teamer, I do get offended because remember the term pink hat? That's how I feel when someone says it. No, I work every Patriots game. We work a lot of Bruins and Celtics games. So we just happen to watch every game, watch every team in the league, watch the other games. We bet on other games too. So I kind of have a pretty good opinion about the entire league, So watching the Celtics all year, to me, they were the best team. They were by far the most talented team in the NBA. And I will tell you this. There are crazy takes that have been going on today. That's why I'm fired up. These takes are so I'm insulted because I wish I got paid to come up with those kind of terrible takes. I could do terrible takes here. At least I have them, right? But people who get paid big money on big networks to flat out say that the Celtics offense was bad last night when they scored their most points of the playoffs, that's the stuff that bothers me. That's the stuff that bothers me. When I tell you that, and when they tell you, when the coach of the other team tells you that he blew the game, but people from Boston named Eric call in and tell you that he's not the better coach last night, I don't know what to tell you. He doesn't get paid for those bad takes, by the way. I just have to listen to them. But today, the amount of takes nationally, and you know what? A lot of the local guys here have been doing it all year, so bless you. There you go. Bless you. Nationally, though, it's lazy. It's lazy. You're bored of the Celtics. You're bored. They have no superstar that you can do features on, right? They don't have great quotes after the game. You don't have one-on-ones with the coach, Mazzulla. They're boring to you. You prefer Joel Embiid and Giannis and LeBron and all those guys because they're easy. It's low-hanging fruit. But when it comes to the Celtics, you got nothing to talk about. I don't want to go to Boston this week. It's so boring there. Every year they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. But yet, when it was the Patriots going to 11 Super Bowls or whatever it is, it's Tom Brady, it's Wes. They have all these great big names. It's you guys are all lazy. You national media are lazy. You're lazy because you can sit there literally and say, Jaylen Brown bailed out Jason Tatum last night. He owes him. They're teammates. It's a team. It is a team. And I will stand. I've been saying this all year long, so I'm the consistent one. We know that Tatum and Brown can't win together or haven't yet. They can get there. They can get there together. They can. They've proven it. They need support. This year, they went out and got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. Last night, they got the support. Al Horford gave him support. Derek White has given him support. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, everyone has supported them. The constant is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But it's so boring for you that you have to literally call out the stars and say, they got bailed out by the other stars. Again, people probably said it about Kyrie hitting the game shot over LeBron, right? But do they talk about them winning the championship? Do they bring up that the team won the championship? Like, was it just Tom Brady who helped come back 28-3? Was it just him? That's the narrative that has fired me up all day. And on the next segment here, oh, there's more. You should hear some of these things. You got to hear these things. That's why I'm fired up today. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Scott in Plymouth. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me. I think you're dead on. You're, a breath of fresh air. The only part that I would disagree a little bit on, you touched on it a little bit, is, some of your coworkers fall right in line with the national narrative, just to bash New England sports. And I'm talking about Mr. Milwaukee.
By the way, no. By the way, and I saw Felger in the hallway tonight. So we have a plan in place that if the Celtics win, we'll have them on the show, and if they lose, I will go on and they can crap all over me.
Oh, beautiful. Because I listened to them earlier, and it's a dead on what you said. If you're a Celtics fan, if you're a New England fan, you love New England. You're a pink hatter, you're a green teamer, you're naive, you don't know anything about sports. But if the second you start going, no, these Celtics are pretty good. They're actually stacked. This team is one of the most stacked Celtics teams that I've seen. I would put them up with a lot of great teams. They've got very few defensive weaknesses. Maybe Peyton. Maybe their down low defense is a little weak.
Their pick and roll was terrible last night. The pick and roll was terrible. But the coach made an adjustment putting Tatum on Turner, and it changed the game.
Exactly. And so my two biggest concerns were coaching, in which you dead on called it. He didn't make the huge mistake to lose the game, and then the down low defense, and he made the adjustments. So how can we sit back and bitch when we have the best record in the league, best playoff record in the league? We pulled out a win that we shouldn't have won. How can there be any complaint?
It's because
anyway, I just wanted to agree with you.
Appreciate you, Scott. People aren't entertained. They don't. They look at Tatum and they're like, yeah, there's nothing impresses me here. They see Jaylen Brown and they're like, why is he playing second fiddle? Like, that's what's going on nationally. I think locally here, like, people praise the Bruins, but they can constantly choke. I mean, at least the Celtics have been there and lost to one of the best teams of all time. When the Bruins went, they lost to the St. Louis Blues. Granted, you could probably say that about the Patriots losing to the Eagles, but they won championships before that. Let's talk to Kevin in Brookline. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Joe. How are you, buddy? First thing I'd say is I absolutely love your show. Love you with Cerrone and those guys. And I really take a lot of merit in what you say. So I hope we can agree to disagree, and you can yell at me. I don't mind. I think Carlisle took the dunce cap right off of Missoula's head last night. I think the game was almost over at the end of the third quarter, up 13, 3 minutes left, and Joe decides to take out. Now, I don't mind him taking out Horford. Horford was dead. But he took out Tatum and White and put in Hauser and Pritchard. They had their foot on their neck. Why didn't he let them play the rest of the quarter and then let them rest the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter? I don't get it. I'm not a Missoula fan. I'm a season ticket holder. Been to 35 games this year. Feel I have a very high basketball IQ.
Yeah.
In college and all that other crap. A couple of things that Missoula did not do. You got on. I think I'd like you to recognize. One, he did not do anything to slow down Indiana's pace of play because he did not put any pressure on them on their front court to try to. They were running into their offense, and the only way you can slow that down is to put pressure on them on their back court. He didn't do that. Mm-hmm. And
by the way, Kevin, I do think that Carlisle on resume alone is a better coach than Missoula.
Yeah, no, I just think that Joe. I mean, and the thing about Tatum, 36, 10, and 4, and yeah, he missed some shots. He did some stupid things. But great players will always make mistakes because they have the ball in their hands so much. So, and the 2-6 show, I don't even think I don't think Mr. Milwaukee.
I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it off because, listen, guys, Skaz and I, like, we don't, listen, we really don't get paid for ratings. Like, we don't. Let's Skaz, we work at night because we want to be in the business. We want to grow. We want to do a show. We want to appeal to the 18 to 49 crowd. That's what we're doing. We're on YouTube, and we cover every single game. And I appreciate the call, Kevin, because you sound like an insightful guy who goes to the games and watches the games. And I love that because that's what we do here. Right? Like, we watch the games. We analyze it. Cerrone watches the whole entire league. We react to it after the games. Like, I appreciate your commentary. I appreciate that. But now I'm at the point where I don't think that Tatum's like the sexy enough star, and the big moments he misses, and it's like, oh, they want him to hit that job, but he's not. I'm just at the point. I don't really want to talk about 2 to 6 because they do a hell of a job and make way more money than us and are way more successful than us, and it's fun. So I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah, and I think the Mazzulla criticisms are warranted, for especially for those minutes, those rotations. It seemed, you mentioned it earlier, but since Porzingis has been injured, Tatum had played every minute of every first quarter. They went away from that last night. Mazzulla we've talked about it a bunch, it's minutia, but the way he rotates Tatum's minutes changed after the All-Star break, where he was leaving him in longer, taking him out at the beginning of the second, or taking him out early in the third so he could play the whole fourth. So this is something Mazzulla's been experimenting with. And I think he thought in this series, Hauser would be okay because of the pace, because it was going to be an offensive series. Same thing with Pritchard. The Cornette minutes, not good either last night. I mean, he did have, a couple plays here and there, but I think it's game one. Coaches are going to make mistakes. Joe Mazzulla made some mistakes. Rick Carlisle made the bigger mistakes last night that cost his team the game.
We'll have more on this, because I have the numbers of breakdowns and all that. We'll get into that. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray.
All NBA first team has been announced. Giannis, Luka, SGA, Nikola Jokic, and Jason Tatum named all NBA first team right now. So, there you go. The guy who was bailed out last night by Jaylen Brown. All NBA first team. Woo. Red Sox are playing right now. They're losing 3-1. There's hockey. We all love hockey. Well, we don't like New York or the Florida Panthers, I guess, but they'll be in action tonight. Puck just about to drop on that one. Charlie Jacobs and the brass of the Bruins today. Well, they said that everybody will be back. Sheldon Keefe, he's going to the New Jersey Devils. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. Oh, wait till you hear all the national media's thoughts on the Celtics. We'll do that next.
It's not just the games. It's the preseason, the postseason, the drafts, the trades, front office drama, the locker room banter, and you talking all about
blah,
it.
blah, 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 blah.
On Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We're not giving the Boston Celtics a chance to win this championship without Porzingis. You need him to win it. Without him, nobody's looking at them beating Dallas or Minnesota. So we get that out the way first. Now that we've gotten that out the way, even with him, what exactly is it that you're going to do? Because what is he reasonably going to be able to do? That's a legitimate question in terms of looking at him, that calf injury, understanding, like you just pointed out, Austin, they're going to switch, they're going to test it out, they're going to see what he's made of. You're also looking at that, and you're looking at two teams in Dallas and Minnesota that are incredibly tenacious. We can't bypass Indiana. Let's be very, very clear about that. I believe this is going to be a series. I think that Indiana has the potential to make it a very, very interesting series. And if Boston doesn't come with their game, they could lose this series, even though none of us have them losing the series in all actuality. I'm just thinking of the mindset. The Boston Celtics are not the favorites. They have dominated the Eastern Conference this year. They've had their way within the Eastern Conference for the vast majority of the last, 7 or 8 years or so, but they haven't been able to kick in the door. And that's really what it comes down to. And they've only made the NBA Finals once, and we saw what happened when they went up against Golden State and Steph Curry and those boys. And so now we got to look at the rest of the landscape, Minnesota and Dallas and Indiana. They shouldn't be the favorites, certainly without Porzingis. Even with Porzingis, you got to wonder about them right now based on what you're seeing.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub, Hour 2, the Joe Show. We're going strong. I have so much national media stuff. And just to disclaimer on this one, this isn't about, oh, you should hear what the national media said and get all angry about it. That's not where I'm going with this one. That's not where I'm going. If you want to go on national media and say, yeah, they're boring or whatever, I'm not upset about that. Saying that Jaylen Brown bailed out Jason Tatum, I'm pushing back on that one. The problem with the Celtics is their offense. I'm gonna push back on that one too, because they scored 133 points and they scored their most points in the playoffs. Like, talking about their coaching, you can be critical, but they didn't have the worst coach last night. It's so easy to sit on a television set and say the Celtics won't win a championship without Kristaps Porzingis. It's very easy to do that. It's so easy to do that. And you know what? It's so mainstream. It's so national television. They don't look at what Tatum and Brown are doing on a nightly basis. I think Tatum and Brown have grown in so many ways together. We've told you the stories about them meeting up in the off seasons and really trying to collaborate and really just try to get that chemistry down. It's something they've been working on all year. And they're finally here at this point. Here's another thing. Clutch time minutes. When people tell me that the Celtics aren't clutch, In 10 clutch time minutes in game one, did you know the Celtics had a 126 offensive rating? That's very good. Their defensive rating, 95. They were a plus 30 on the net rating in clutch time. So far this playoffs, they're 2-0 in clutch time minutes with an offensive rating of 129 and a defensive rating of 87. So for those who don't know what it is, that means how many points per game they would score playing at that level. Defense, 87. That means a plus 42. So don't tell me they stink in clutch time when I give you actual factual statistics that they don't. But all you'll tell me is Tatum missed the shots. But you won't credit Jaylen Brown for doing it. Who else we got back there? We got another national media pundit back there, Skaz, that we want to rip on. Who's this one now? Who's the next guy on Joey's hit list tonight?
We are killing Tatum for having a 36-12-4
I know,
game.
but he was terrible.
I understand.
I know he put up numbers. He was not good.
He was also plus 20, but I mean, I hear you.
He was
He definitely disappeared for a significant, crucial stretch of the game.
I mean, this was a loss, and Tatum was going to be wearing the horns.
No, Holiday saved them, and Jaylen Brown's crazy three saved
Well, Tatum had a very good overtime. Tatum made plays in overtime, and that that counts. That matters.
He did make the two plays at the end. He also, like I said, up until those two shots, he was 2 for 10 in the fourth quarter and overtime.
So wait, was that Brian Windhorst trying to credit Jason Tatum for, I don't know, him doing well in overtime? That counts. Can you just play the very beginning? Who is this again? Is this Tim Bontemps? Wait, just play the very beginning real quick.
We are killing Tatum for having a 36-12-4 game.
I know, but
he was terrible.
I understand.
He was terrible.
I know he put up numbers. He was not good.
He was terrible?
What are you watching?
Keep going. Now this is one I think we got to stretch this one out a little bit.
He was terrible for the last, 5 minutes, which is very crucial, and he should be criticized for it.
He missed shots?
He missed shots, bad plays, turnovers. Absolutely. But to say he was terrible all night?
Play it again. Let's stop and start, Skaz. Let's just keep going.
We are killing Tatum for having a 36-12-4 game.
I know, but
he was terrible.
I understand.
I know he put up numbers. He was not good.
He was
also plus 20, but I mean, I hear you.
I know he was.
He definitely disappeared
for
20, a significant, crucial stretch of the game.
I mean, this was a loss, and Tatum was going to be wearing the horns.
No, Holiday saved them, and Jaylen Brown's crazy three saved them.
Tatum had a very good overtime. Tatum made plays in overtime, and that that counts. That matters.
He did make the
that
two
does
plays
matter,
at the
sir.
end. He also, like I said, up until those two shots, he was 2 for 10 in the fourth quarter and overtime.
I can't believe Brian Windhorst is the peacemaker in there, trying to actually rope in. Jaylen Brown saved him. Drew Holiday saved him. That's fine. I'm not mad about that. That doesn't bother me.
I'm perfectly fine with the Tatum criticism. He should be criticized for those final couple minutes. But
he was terrible?
He was terrible.
He was terrible?
What are we doing?
He was a plus 20, but he was terrible.
Plus 20, best defensive player on the floor. Covered Miles Turner, arguably changed the game in the second half defensively. Terrible.
Oh, listen. He was going to wear the horns right of the loss. He didn't hit a big shot.
Deservedly so if they lost that game.
He didn't hit a big shot. But as Brian Windhorst says, the story does go on, right? In overtime, was Jason Tatum not the best player in overtime? Does that count? Because last I checked, that counts. They won the game. Defensively, he was terrible. It's laughable. It is so lazy. I wish. How do I get a job nationally to give terrible takes? How? Do I need to lose? Do I need to call Mr. Sid and get a better suit? Like, what do I have to do? Do I got to lose some pounds? If you want bad takes, I got plenty of them. That one's bad. That guy gets paid a lot of money. Like, I resent that man. I am resentful. Oh, Joe's spicy tonight? No, I'm resentful. These guys with terrible takes. You can be critical of him missing shots. You can be critical of the terrible turnovers. But 33 points doesn't matter anymore to people. It just doesn't. And that's fine. But overtime does count. It counts. It's still part of the game. Jason Tatum had a double-digit rebounds. In 9 of the Celtics' last 11 games, they're 9-2. They're 9-0 when he has 10 or more rebounds. When he has less than 10, they're 0-2.
You hear anybody today mentioning Pascal Siakam's last couple minutes there, or Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh, he's won a championship. He's been there before, Skaz. He knows how to win. I'll take him over Tatum.
What about Tyrese Halliburton dropping the ball out of bounds?
What the hell was that,
You hear anybody mention that today?
Halliburton was fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
He was great.
He was great.
But those final 2 minutes.
Should I say, wait, no. To get really paid, right, on ESPN, Halliburton was just terrible. How do you just turn the ball over like that? How do you have that 24-second violation there?
How do you let Tatum funnel you to the corner for a bad shot? Shouldn't you get a better look at the end of regulation?
He was so bad in the post against Tatum. He was terrible last night. What was he, by the way? Because now plus minuses really matter, you know.
It's just weird. I didn't hear anybody mention Siakam or Halliburton at the end of that game.
The Tatum stuff, dude. I can't remember a superstar local superstar. Like Tuukka Rask got it bad, right? Tuukka Rask got it bad. I think Tatum's way better than Rask. As far as like an individual performer.
Is all NBA? Is that good?
Oh, is that what happened tonight?
But we don't care. I don't care about all NBA. So I really don't.
No, I don't either. They do.
They absolutely
do.
Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards made about $50 million tonight because of those all NBAs.
So for the people, again, don't consider Jason Tatum a top 5 player, right? I will allow that. I will allow people to say he's not a top 5 player. I'll allow it. He might not be. This year he finished sixth in the MVP. But do you know where he finished on the All-NBA team? In the top 5? Giannis, Luka, SGA, Jokic. Those are all people that everyone will tell you are better than Jason Tatum. Tonight, they're equal to Jason Tatum. We're going to talk to Brian Robb. He is from Mass Live. We'll get his thoughts on everything happening with the Boston Celtics. And we'll look ahead to Game 2. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Boston by 1. Derek White going slowly, straight away up top. Against Halliburton. Halliburton comes to challenge. Tatum sets the high screen. 10 on the shot clock. Derek White down to left side. Pump fake. Kick out. Open. Tatum steps to his left. 3 in the air. Got it!
Big boys step up at the right time, man. Oh, Tatum. Yes, yes, yes.
And 1,000 talking heads go silent as Tatum drills the monster 3 to put Boston up by 4.
I got your talking head right here, buddy. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
42.8 to go in the overtime.
You made the best observation. The Pacers cannot lose this game. I don't care what happens. They have to find a way to come back in this basketball game.
That's what it sounded like last night here on the Celtics Radio Network. Sean Grandy, Cedric Maxwell, great job by both of them last night. Someone else who was at the Garden last night, he's our good friend. He's our Celtics guy. He's from Mass Live. He's from 98.5 The Sports Hub. And his name is Brian Robb. We call him B-Rob. He was in the house last night, and he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. B-Rob, do you credit... because there's a lot going on right now about the Celtics. Did you consider that a win in your book last night? Are they up 1-0 in the series right now?
No, the Pacers are just -1.
That's what it is. Yeah, because that seems to be the narrative, right? Is that It didn't count last night?
No, it did. I mean, listen, the Pacers choked, but the Celtics also had to make some crazy plays to take it from them at the same time. So both can be true. Jaylen Brown forced that turnover with 7 seconds left, leading up to his 3 in the corner there, which was a very difficult shot. I thought Joe Mazzulla threw up a really good play call there to get him in a corner and put Siakam in a spot where, you're worried about fouling there. That's literally all you can do in that situation. So they have a chance to tie the game. Jaylen did it, and then Tatum, as Jaylen put it, woke up in overtime and hit some shots, and here we are, Joe.
Here we are. Can you just give us the reaction to maybe what it was like at the Garden? I've had a couple of people tweeting at me to ask about last night at the Garden. Was it silent? Were people, I guess, tight because of the close game in the end? And obviously Tatum criticized for missing shots late. What was it like there at the end of the game there? Was the crowd involved in what happened when Jaylen Brown hit the big shot?
Yeah, I'd say, at the start of the game, Joe, there was definitely a lot more energy in the building than during the Cavs series. But with that said, that didn't necessarily sustain over the course of the night. I feel like there were some regular season crowds that were, louder crowds over the course of that game. And then in the fourth quarter, just as the Pacers got rolling there and got pushed at least 3-5, I think there was a ton of nervous energy because everyone had kind of seen this song and dance before from the Celtics, particularly at home, and certainly not in a game one against a team that they're double digits favorites against. But the place went nuts when Jaylen forced that turnover, and then the 3, blew off the roof off the joint. And I think they were able to kind of sustain that momentum into overtime there. I think the crowd really got going. At that point, they knew this was sound money for the team, obviously, and the Pacers kind of wilted in that extra frame, I feel like, where just, unforced errors, missing easy shots, and then obviously some big ones from Tatum and company.
Just, I know that no one really considers these two players a part of them winning a championship, but Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett's minutes were not great last night. Obviously, Tillman's out for a personal reason, death in the family. Does Mazzulla want to go to Brissett? What type of adjustments do you think they'll make when it comes to the pick and roll with Hauser and Cornette on the floor?
Yeah, it's a great question, Joe, because those guys, all playoffs long, like the Celtics bench has just been a huge edge for them. And game one, it flipped. Like Indy, like T.J. McConnell, Obi Toppin, those guys came in and were really impactful guys. And Hauser was getting abused defensively. Cornette, I thought he played a little better in the second half. but certainly in the first half was getting exposed in that pick and roll like you referenced there. So my guess now, and just from talking to Joe at practice today, I think he's just going to roll it back and hope that they just play better, play smarter with those guys right now, because Brissett, has not played a meaningful minute, I think, in months, it feels like at this point. Tillman, if he gets back, I think would be the first in line to get a chance in place of Kornet, because he's a little more versatile, big man, can, bang down low and get some rebounding and also, hold his own a little bit on the perimeter against the Pacers guards. But we've seen these guys bounce back. Kornet has had up and down games against the Cavs, but he's played, pretty well when given the chance for minutes consistently right now. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting. I mean, and now with Porzingis potentially looming as a return and, next week here, this might not be a problem much longer for Joe Mazzulla. I guess that's like the good news here if the bench is struggling in this series.
You mentioned Mazzulla a couple of times. Do you credit him for putting Jason Tatum on Siakam late in the game? And it really helped. And I know that Tatum's under fire today, right? The national media. I've been playing national media sound all day because it's so lazy. And I know that you probably felt like this for a while covering the team, right? Like there's just all these lazy narratives about the team. But like, and not to compare sports, but like I think Charlie McAvoy struggled this year in the playoffs for the Bruins because he's doing so much. Well, I feel like Tatum's doing the same thing, playing the five, playing bigs, right? Playing out of his game, but doing what he can to help the team, taking less shots, passing the ball more. And it's just all they see is the missed shots at the end of the game. So, do they go to the five at that point? Do they finally say, you know what? At some point, Tatum, you're the five, and then they roll guards the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly should be an option against this team, Joe, with just the personnel here. Because if Tatum can guard anyone on this team, like one-on-one there. And we saw, like you said, he did a great job with Siakam. I think his defense all postseason long has been phenomenal and overlooked. Last night, he leads his team in rebounds night in and night out. I think he's the best rebounding, non-big in the playoffs so far this year, period. And then with the steals, with just like good situational play there, that's pretty big. So you wonder with Mazzulla and with Tatum, is like, okay, is that a card that they're going to wait until the last minute to play of like in the finals and they really, really need it? Or is that a situation now where they just like to take the wear and tear off of Tatum, like playing by the five? That's just a ton to ask for him when you're already asking him to play, 42, 44 minutes a night right now. So I would guess against this Pacers team, they stick where it is right now with a true big on the floor, whether that's Al Horford and Kornet for at least another game here at this point. And then if they get run off the floor again in some of those situations, then maybe you roll the dice and you see what Brissett can give you with Tatum at the five, or you find some other wild card to throw out the Pacers in that standpoint.
All right, talk about Brian Robb. He's from Mass Live. Check out. He's got a nice recap from last night. He spoke to Joe Mazzulla today as well. The first team All-NBA was just announced over the last 10, 15 minutes. Jason Tatum's name is on that list. He's a part of the great ones. Giannis, Luka, SGA. You got Nikola Jokic and then Jason Tatum. Any surprise for him being in the top five, and any surprise about Jaylen Brown not being on the list?
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised with Tatum getting the All-NBA first team. I think he earned it. Jalen Brunson's late run to into MVP contention, if you will, just as a top five guy in that front, is made me wonder whether he would get bumped. But I think that the right decision was made here by the voters. Jalen, I was pretty surprised to not make the All-NBA third team. He just got bumped out by Booker and Halliburton. I think, a couple of these guys, Steph, LeBron, those are like legacy guys. Sabonis puts up big numbers. But when you look at that, like the totality of the season, like Halliburton's like second half of the year just was like a mess, a lot of it as he dealt with injuries. And Booker, I mean, that Suns team was kind of a mess all year long.
Yeah.
And part of that is injuries, but I think Jalen was certainly the more consistent player all year long compared to Booker. So, but, I don't think he's going to sweat too much. He got his All-NBA deal. He had to make the All-NBA last year, Joe. That was one that really mattered for him. So now this is just, maybe a little extra fuel to the fire, motivation-wise for next season or during this playoff run here to show everyone, okay, like these guys may be getting All-NBA, but, I'm one of the few guys that's still playing right now.
So I looked into this a little bit. Tatum already was eligible for the Supermax, so he's eligible for the 5-year, $315. But Brown last night, he didn't even make all defensive. He was upset about it. It was something we brought up in pregame last night. He made the big defensive play, right? Hit the big shot at the end of the game. He's somewhat been snubbed, but I was reading, if the Celtics do make the finals, he'll achieve his bonus by making the finals and not making an all-NBA team. So now he has extra motivation to get there.
There you go. Yeah, he has a pretty creative contract with a lot of interesting incentives like that, a lot of team-based incentives along with the All-NBA stuff. So, yeah, that's that extra little carrot for them. Not that he isn't fully motivated anyway there, but that will be an extra nice little payday for him, assuming that they can get through this series here and match up hopefully the Wolves or the Mavs coming up here.
Two-part question here. I'll mix them both in. Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton both make All-NBA. So they get that 30% bump now, right?
Yep.
With the new TV rights that are happening, like Anthony Edwards could be making $55 million in like 3 or 4 years. How could a player make $100 million a year with this new TV right at some point?
I think it's going to take a little ways, but I wouldn't be surprised by maybe the end of like 10 years from now for sure. The way this is going, and maybe even closer to 5 than 10 with the way the percentages are going to be going, the way the cap's going with this new TV deal. But this is a pretty big deal for both those franchises. I mean, the Wolves, for Edwards to make All-NBA here, like, they're going to be in a pretty bad cap position moving forward, like, with the luxury tax. And so after going all in with the Gobert deal, and so they have a lot less flexibility now with Edwards making that kind of money already, in terms of how they want to be able to. They're going to have to make some tough choices, I think, in terms of who they want to keep around, unless they're going to pay a ton of tax. And the Pacers are another team where, that's another big, like, they're kind of set now. Like, they traded for Siakam, and Halliburton is going to get that big deal, so their cap space is pretty much eaten up. So it's a few of these teams would potentially have a lot more space moving forward, but now with these guys getting these honors, it kind of takes away a few options for building around them, and that's kind of good news for a team like the Celtics, who have already have the pieces in place and are trying to keep these up-and-coming guys out of the mix.
All right, Brian Robb joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Check out his work over at Mass Live. I got two more for you. Drew Holiday played his best game last night, but over his last 4 playoff games, which they're 4-0, he's averaging almost 19 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's shooting 60% from the field, 50% from 3. He's almost got 3-pointers a game. Was he saving this for the NBA? Because we always knew he was this kind of guy, but I mean, here he is now. He looks like the guy, and it's showing based off almost 19 points per game.
It's nuts, Joe. Like, after the first 6 games of the playoffs, I was looking at Drew and looking at the big extension they gave him. And you're like, he really isn't doing much yet. Like, is he fading at the wrong time here? Like, already this early when they gave him 4 more years essentially. But then you just look at this 4-game stretch, starting with Game 3 against the Cavs, and this was, I mean, for him to do what he did offensively last night, I thought he was the guy that was in control the most on the team all night in terms of picking the spots and mismatches, taking the guys to the post, hitting the open threes when they're there. You already talked about what he did defensively with Halliburton and such crucial stretches of the game there. To get that type of performance from your 4th or even 5th option during the regular season is just huge, and that's something right now where he's kind of picked his spots all year long offensively, and now when they need it the most against a team like this, in Indiana, who just has a lot of guys you can target on this end, he's the perfect guy for it to kind of fit the bill and carry the team on night when they're only shooting 33% from 3 as a team.
And finally, I know I brought up the narratives, right? For years, people have, if you say something good about the Celtics, they call you a green teamer, right? Do you believe that they can play this style of basketball without Kristaps Porzingis and win a championship?
Through the finals, you mean, or just in the series?
like right now. Like, I think they can win this series. I think they can win this series and win the NBA Finals without Porzingis. Do you think they need him?
No, I think they're capable. I do, Joe. I think Porzingis at this point is probably going to be a bonus, and you hope that obviously he comes back and is able to get to the level that he was during much of the regular season, but you can't count on that after an injury like this. Like, even if he is get back, like whether the mints he's going on or, he obviously could be exposed defensively in the spots after, being out off the floor for a month here. But yeah, like talent-wise, this is why you made the Drew Holiday deal. Like, you've protected yourself against this type of situation where you have enough left across the roster. If Tatum and Brown play to their potential, if Derek White and Drew Holiday do what they do as supplemental pieces, like you're not going to be overwhelmed by what Minnesota or Dallas or Indiana do to you. So I think it's right there for them. I think life becomes certainly easier in some aspects with Porzingis on the floor, but I think there are also some parts of his game that kind of can weigh them down a little bit at points against certain teams. So this will be a situation now where I'm with you. I think they can do this with what they have right now. If they apply themselves, if they make the necessary adjustments, it's right there for them. And now, whether they get the help or not, that's going to be a fun little X factor for us to see in the next few weeks.
You looking at that Western Conference at all? Any thoughts on that series?
I like the Wolves. I think that impressed the hell out of me what they did in Game 7 there in Denver. I thought OKC, that's still a good win for Dallas, but I think that's a team that was a little too young, maybe a little bit undermanned in the matchup-wise from that standpoint. So Minnesota just looks like the defensive juggernaut that can, give Luka and Kyrie some fits and have the size to match up with the Gaffords and the Lively's of the world there. And then I think that'd be a hell of a fun series. So like Boston, Minnesota, they played some great games in the regular season, and I think we could be in store for 6 or 7 of those again here in a couple weeks.
Minnesota's won the last 4 of their last 5 games, averaging 118 points a game versus Dallas.
Wow.
So I like the Dallas Mavericks.
We know who you like then.
I like the Mavericks. No, I like the Mavericks personally.
Oh, you like the Mavs? Oh,
dude, I like the Mavs. I think Luka and Kyrie are going to be the difference in there. I do.
They're the proven guys for those like clutch time spots for sure over Everett at this point.
And I bet Dallas versus Boston in the final.
I like it.
And that's why I think Kristaps Porzingis could be the difference versus his former team. So they have to get.
I didn't even think about that subplot there, Joe. I forgot about that.
See, you got an article. You got an article now.
Look at that.
you come on the show. Now, we talk shop, and now you get content from MassLive.com. Go check him out. He's Brian Robb. Does a great job. He'll be there tomorrow night as well. B-Rob, appreciate your time, my man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right. He's Brian Robb, and we're giving him content, which we love to do. That's what we do here on the Night Show. We have content, and we'll have more content for you coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub Headline.
the famous call, Johnny Most call, versus the Pistons? Was that 86? I forget. Whatever. I was a kid. And now there's a steal by Bird underneath the DJ, and he lays it in. Woo! What happened? What happened there? Was it a steal and a turnover and then a basket? Is that what happened? Because they were going to lose the game. They were going to lose the game. Do you know what happened? You celebrate the call by Johnny Most and the steal by Bird underneath the DJ, and he laid it in. They were going to lose the game. They were going to lose.
Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right at 1 second left. What a play by Bird.
They were going to lose. What was that? 87 conference finals? What was that?
That was 86, I believe.
86? May have been the 87 year. Whatever. That's it. Eastern Conference. Now I'm going to look up. Should we look up Larry Bird's box score? Should we get into Parrish? Was Carlisle on that team? I don't even know. Underneath the DJ, and he lays it in. They would have lost the game. I hope to keep this energy all night. And this is from Ben in Groveland, who wrote to me, Joe, just because you yell louder doesn't make you more right. This is my tone. You'll know what I'm yelling. Trust me. You'll know. Benny, thanks for holding, bro. How you doing?
Hey, Joe, what's going on, man? When has a team scored 133 points in a game and their offense be called disastrous? When has two superstars scored 62 points and one of them forced a turnover and then hit the three in the corner to force overtime and be told they have not? When are they going to answer the call? Stephen A. Smith made me crack up this morning, and bear with me really quick because your afternoon show made me laugh too, calling last night's win a moral loss. What in the world does that mean? When you play poorly and still win, especially in the freaking playoffs, you take that win every single time. Jason Tatum, what do you have? 36, 12, and 4, and he was a plus 20? What out? I'm not happy with his fourth quarter. Everybody can admit that, but the guy was plus 20 in a 5-point win. Maserati was praising Anthony Edwards, Game 7, 6 for 24.
Listen, time out. Hey, no, I'll let you go. I'll let you keep going, Betty, but we cannot make the night show where people call in to complain about Felger and Naz. No, you're right, bro. I got you, bro. Trust me, we're going to hear it anyways. My disclaimer is the night show is not a place to bitch about Felger and Naz. My disclaimer, of course. But no, I get you, bro. I get you.
I didn't want to say names, so I apologize for that. I was trying to hold it. I have to hear
you're being held You're holding people accountable.
Yeah, I had to listen to people praise Edwards going 6 for 26 or whatever it was, and only being plus 11 in the 8-point win. Oh, the leadership there. If Tatum played that poorly and still scored 36, 12, and 4, was a plus 20 in a 5-point win, guess what, guys? He affected the game everywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't understand what this narrative and hate towards Boston and Tatum. And
he's not Benny. I'm at the point where he's not exciting. He's a Duke softy, right? He's a Duke softy, and he's not the number one guy. And maybe he isn't. But you know what? Right now I don't think there's another player I would trade him for in the league. I don't
I'm
think
right there with you. And really quick, if I can, since the All-NBA team came out, Jaylen Brown should have at least made All-NBA third team over Booker. Jaylen Brown affects the court on both sides of the court.
Agree. And the other thing, too, is because he had a nice contract, going to the finals will lock in that money. But he deserved it anyways, though.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Appreciate you, Benny. Got something, Skaz?
What do you want?
No,
I got plenty of stuff.
No, do you think it would be good for ratings if we just said, hey, the night show is a place where you can bitch about Felger and Naz?
That's certainly not what I want to do.
That's not what I want to do either. But is that what's happening?
I do like him calling Mahaz Maserati. He's a nice sports car.
My Maserati goes 185. I lost my license and now I can't drive. No, we can't be that, right? We can't be the place where people bitch about. You know that there's like a little liner. This is the Felger Maz or his pregame party or whatever. We are not the postgame show for Felger and Maz. Should we put that on a sticker?
There we go.
We are not the postgame show for Felger and Maz.
How are these people handling when the 08 Celtics went 7 games against the Hawks?
By the way, I just looked it up. 1986 season, it was in 87, Game 5. Tied 2-2 in Boston. Pistons were up 107-106. 5 seconds left. What did they have to do? Inbound the basketball, right? Bird must have... Dude, Bird had some... And listen, this is me crediting Larry Bird, who in that game, by the way, had 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists.
It sounds eerily similar.
I didn't look at steals, but he had one. A big one.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
What happened? It was an inbound, right? It was an inbound that got stolen?
I got another one for you. You want it?
Yes.
You want it? How about 1984? Celtics down 1-0.
Okay, 1-0.
Already down 1-0.
Are they at home? All right, at home. Here we go.
Down 1-0 at home in the finals.
Yep.
Lakers. Gerald Henderson steals the ball.
Oh, yeah, Gerald Henderson. Remember, he stole the ball. Go crazy, folks.
On the verge of a 2-0 series deficit, steals the ball. Larry Bird in that game, 8 for 22.
How many points?
Don't remember people bringing that one up.
How many points?
I'll have to look. I just saw the stat line.
So 84, Gerald Green stole the ball.
That 81 ring, who'd they play in the finals?
Oh, was Max on that team?
Yeah, you tell Cedric Maxwell. Please try and tell Cedric Maxwell.
How'd Larry Bird do that, Skaz?
You know who they played in the finals that year? A Houston Rockets team that had a losing record.
Oh, really?
I believe that Houston Rockets team was 40-42. So
wow. That was 81?
Yeah.
Wow.
So does that ring not count? Do people not talk about that ring?
Cedric Maxwell.
Yeah.
He was better than Larry Bird in that final.
You try and tell Max that ring doesn't count. Good luck. Just while we're playing the game, just while we're playing.
You got another one? Oh, yeah.
I'll find more. Don't you worry.
I don't know why it popped in my head. I used to have I used to be really tight with Jamie Most, Johnny's kid. And we would listen to Johnny Most highlights all the time. So that call, though, I believe, because I've watched the 86 special on NBC Sports Boston, if you haven't seen it yet. But Bird followed Isaiah and knew that Isaiah would get the ball right away from the ref and give it up. Bird kind of talks about it. But Bird made the mistake happened, right? They missed. He was just ball man. I know where it's going.
That's what Jalen did to Siakam last night.
Thank you.
It's weird how no one talks about how the Celtics won a ring playing a team with a losing record.
But yet the broadcaster got criticized for being a green team or his narrative, or I don't know, enjoying doing the game on radio because they're not on TV. Real spicy tonight, huh?
Celtics 16 championships. Getting one when you play a team with a losing record doesn't count.
In or out, I swear, is next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Team Dog Show. He was on before wrestling. That's why I knew. So every night at 9 o'clock, I'm like, give me Monday Night Raw. Get these dogs off my television. I told you I was on one. And on the Stanley Cup, though.
All right, Joe, I'm interested to hear where you are on this one. Liam and Noel Gallagher seem to be teasing something with Oasis. Some people are speculating that it's a 25th anniversary album. Others are speculating that it could possibly finally be an Oasis reunion. Joe, are you in or out on Oasis potentially getting back together?
So I'm in. Here's why. I think there are people in life that you're attached to. Other people are also attached to that. That was really corny. But you felt it, right? You felt it? That's what happens when you listen to an Oasis song. You're my Wonderwall. Right? Just think of some of the... I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. You felt it, right? Fans want them back together. They want them back. Hell, I want Roger Waters and David Gilmour back together. I want it. And if it happens, I'll melt. So I'm happy for the Oasis fans. And I think it would be good for music. Do I care? No.
Yeah, I think these are two guys that are real, like, rock and roll, whatever you want to call them. Maybe some people probably don't consider them, like, hardcore rock and roll. But these are two guys that are undeniably, like, live that lifestyle, superstars, hated each other's guts. Like, I think the story is captivating. They were, arguably the biggest band in the world at one point. They're two brothers that broke up and hated each other's guts.
For 14 years.
Yeah, so...
And now they're getting back together. That's a good story.
Exactly. So this is
Can it work?
Yeah, I think just the theater of it is great. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where that goes.
Champagne supernova in the sky.
Yeah, I think the problem with them is one of them can write and one of them can sing. So when they broke up, the one that would write had great songs, but they didn't sound great. And the other one had songs that sounded good, but had no substance.
Oh.
All right, we'll head to the NFL. Joe, are you in or out on Gillette Stadium, or we'll call it the Boston area, potentially holding an NFL draft?
What about you?
Oh, I'm out. Out.
I think I'd go to it.
You'd go to the NFL draft? See, like, I'm not a...
I think I'd work it. I'd call Barth.
I'm sure
You'd be working too.
Yeah. Not going.
You'd be back here. And you'd be like, I have to work this stupid draft with Joe and Barth. Like, we're going to be set up like a station. Like, I'm talking like a battleground. We'd be, like, bunkered in. Like, Barth might be one of the guys with the headset. The one that, like, communicates back to the television or the radio station. I hold that thing.
That's what I don't know.
We shouldn't even entertain it.
Yeah, exactly.
Out. Out.
Yeah, I'm out on that one. All right, Joe, this is one I'm very interested to get your thoughts on. Apple Music released their top 100 albums of all time. Obviously, we're not going to go through all 100. I will give you the top 10 if you want it.
Okay.
But without seeing it, Joe, what are your thoughts on Apple Music giving out the top 100 best albums of all time?
Okay. I'm just going to tell you that I don't agree with it.
Are you sorry?
I apologize that I don't agree with their Apple Music countdown, but I am not sorry.
Would you like the top 10?
Please.
Number 10, Beyonce, Lemonade.
Good album. Fine. Do I put it up there as a top 10? No. Fine.
Number 9, Nirvana, Nevermind.
Great album.
8, Amy Winehouse, Back to Black.
No.
7, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Not a bad album, but no.
Stevie Wonder, number 6, Songs in the Key of Life.
Great musician.
Number 5, Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Nope.
No. Prince and the Revolution, Purple Rain, number 4.
Probably a top 10 album of all time.
Number 3, The Beatles, Abbey Road.
Sure.
Tough to argue. Not the biggest Beatles guy, but I get it. Number 2, Michael Jackson, Thriller.
I was going to say Thriller would have been mine.
Yep. And number 1, Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Did that have the girls, you know you better watch out. Some guys are only about that thing. No? That's the only song. And then she was in the Fugees.
Yeah, I just think anytime you're putting together a list like that, you're setting yourself up for criticism.
I don't know any of the songs on the Miseducation. Wait, I don't know any of these songs?
I'm sure if you heard them, you would know them.
Doo-wop? Oh, yeah, that thing. There it is. Yes. Girl, you know you better watch out. Out?
Yeah, out. But moving on, The Rock, who we can't seem to get away from.
Yeah, no, he was on our television last night doing something.
He's everywhere. And now he seems to be going after like a real acting award. I don't know if you've seen this, but The Rock will be starring in a Benny Safdie movie, an MMA movie called The Smashing Machine about mixed martial arts legend Mark Kerr. So you're in.
In. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Dwayne Johnson going for where I think he's not going to, I think he's really going to try and, quote unquote act in this one. I think he's trying to put the Rock persona.
He's under fire.
Yeah.
A couple of his movies have been bad.
Most.
He's not a bad actor, and I don't really consider him a great actor.
No, he's the third best male actor that's a wrestler, though. Cena and Batista are both better than him.
Ooh. Batista, I watched...
he's good.
The Onion Glass, is that what it was called? It was that Knives Out...
Oh, yeah, like Glass Onion?
Glass Onion. What did I call it?
Onion Glass, I think.
So I've only watched half of it. I like it. Batista's in it.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah, he's in that too. Good. Oh, he was in.
He's in like a horror movie recently
he's
too.
He's in that Rocky movie. Not Rocky movie. Sylvester Stallone. I always call him Rocky. What was it? Escape Plan 2? You ever saw Escape? Listen, bad, good movies. Like, remember movies for guys who like movies?
Those are my dad's favorite movies, like horrible action movies.
Oh my God, like Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah,
that was Under Siege. Come on, but if Fugitive is on my television, I'm locked in. All right, but
Rambo,
no, Rambo, Chuck Norris. Come on. Well, Escape Plan is about Sylvester Stallone, and he's Ray Breslin, who knows how to break out of every single jail. Well, they send him to this place where basically they were trying to get. Well, I'm spoiling it now, but. His partner, Arnold, they were in jail together. Imagine the shenanigans those guys go through in jail together. Escape Plan. Not a great movie. Not a bad movie. I liked it. And part 2 as Batista. Anyways, The Rock, MMA, I think there should be an MMA movie. And you know what? The Rock, I think, is getting into more production now. Because, these guys, like Ron Howard's an actor one day, and all of a sudden now he's a director. It's because he can't be Opie forever. Just like he can't be The Rock forever. Right?
We'll see.
That's true.
All right, Joe. We'll end with this one. This is something I saw floating around on Twitter earlier today. But Chris Paul to the Lakers is a real possibility. Joe, are you in or out on Chris Paul to the Lakers?
Who's the coach?
JJ Redick.
I don't care.
Neither do I. I can't stand Chris Paul.
Out because I don't care. Chris Paul is going to go down as one of those guys who just never won. Another one of those guys, right?
A lot of 3-1 leads. A lot of really stacked regular season teams.
Barkley, Chris Paul.
Stockton and Malone.
Out.
All right.
Chris Paul kind of sucks.
Yes, out on Chris Paul.
No, you know what? Like he for the 20 years he almost played, the position generally moved. He kind of ruined the position.
I mean, he was a true point guard.
But he could score.
Yeah.
No,
but not
I
like
want
score.
a point guard that bring the ball up when he's open, hit a shot, be tough, smart, pass the ball to the guy when you know you need to pass it. Chris Paul, the reason why his team's lost, because he wanted to take the shot.
Yeah, and his defense was okay, but he'd get exposed in the playoffs too.
Barkley was amazing, everybody. I know. He was amazing. 6'4", and played the way he did, above the rim. Anyways. All right, that's it. In or out. Maybe we should start keeping track of our in or outs. Like, are we more in or out? Have like a little in or out, like, maybe we can start doing that as like a feature with our listeners.
Do it by category, like NBA ins, NHL ins.
No, we'll be like, go to this site here in our Discord or
do
something.
A monthly recap of in or out.
And then, all right, guys, go in there now, and you can vote on if you're in or out. I mean, I do that in work meetings all the time. We put in some app, and then all of a sudden we all answer the questions, and then they give us the results, right? Why can't we do that on the radio? Let's get to the headlines here. Coming up next here at 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBC FM 91 from the Town Fair Tire Studios, the home of the Patriots, the Celts, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5 The Sports Hub. A BC Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right now, Florida leads the Rangers 1-0 game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. Mavericks trail the Timberwolves 39-32 with 8 minutes to go in the second half. And the Red Sox lead the Rays 8-4. Wilyer Abreu with a home run. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll get back into all the Celtics talk. I know people have opinions on it. We still have national media to go after. You got to hear. You just got to hear it. All right, we're going to talk to Mike Cadlick. He's over at CLNS about some Patriot stuff coming up in just a little bit. But I wanted to just bring this up. So there's a big $7 billion media rights deal looming in the NBA. Players could make up to $95 million a year with a Supermax. Looking at Jason Tatum, do you think people will be complaining about his contract in 10 years or 5 years?
I mean, Jaylen Brown's going to look like a good deal in 2 seasons, maybe.
Think about that, right? They're going to be locked into deals for 5 years, right? The Celtics have a lot to do. When I say if they take care of business this year, they're going to be good for a while. So I see the dynasty in the light. I see it down the road. Still got to get there. And you still got to either beat Minnesota or Dallas right now. Timberwolves up 39-32. We're going to talk to Mike Cadlick coming up on the other side. Oh, is it things very nice now with Gerard Mayo? Bill Belichick's not yelling at everybody anymore? We'll ask Mike Cadlick that question coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
I just listen to everything all day. Everything. Like the amount of people that like are talking basketball that I just don't feel like are qualified for it nationally. It's starting to, it got me. It was like poking the bear. The bear.
The bear.
I can't say the name bear without doing that. Anyways. Let's take a breather from the Celtics. Let's find out what's going on with the Patriots. He is NFL insider. He's Mike Kadlick. He's working with CLNS right now. What's going on, Mike? You got you got a good pizza for us tonight?
I actually did have pizza tonight. I was at Anthony's in Westwood, some coal-fired pizza tonight for dinner. So it was pretty good. Thanks for having me on, Joe. It's been a minute. How we doing?
It has been a minute. Yeah, it has. How you doing? You just doing some work with CLNS, staying busy?
Yep, staying busy for sure. Keeping tabs on those Patriots. So no, I mean everything. I missed the OTA the other day, but I was at rookie minicamp last week. So things seem to be going, smooth as they can be for a new team. But no, yeah, like you said, keeping busy, staying up to date on the team and all that. So yeah, and I had pepperoni pizza, sausage pizza, and cheese pizza tonight. So I'm all pizzaed up. Nice and normal too.
3 in 1 or 3 different?
3 different slices, 3 different types of pizza, or 3 different pizzas. I had 3 slices.
Okay. All right. Well, you should, that you should like start a handle of like the pizza that you eat.
I know. I've thought about it. It's like, but then you gotta make a whole new following. You got, instead of just tweeting out to the people that you are at. But yeah, I should do a little off-brand pizza content instead of just the sports. But I do have a new podcast that I started, Behind the Mic.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What do you got? Behind the Mic podcast.
Yeah. So follow that on Twitter. That has to build its own following. So yeah, but I'm working on that right now. So no pizza just yet.
It could be called Get Your Licks with Cadlick.
Not bad. That's not bad. That would be more like ice cream, though, wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, do people lick pizza?
I don't think so. I think that'd be kind of weird.
I think it's a little weird. So you did a mailbag with Doug Kyde and Taylor Kyles?
Yes.
So what are people asking? Instead of me asking you questions, you tell us what everybody's asking you.
Okay, there was a lot of offensive line questions today on the mailbag. People curious about what's going on at the guard position. Cole Strange, obviously, we saw that news yesterday. I don't know if you've been able to touch on it because you had Celtics yesterday, but Cole Strange is going to be out for the beginning of the season and might be closer to midway through the year that he's out. So at OTAs on Monday was Sidy Sow and Nick Leverett at the guard positions without Strange there. So some moving parts, and people basically want to know what's going on with the offensive line. And I don't blame them for asking the question. And they seem to be in a little bit better of a position than they were last year. Obviously, Trent Brown was always a question mark. They had plenty of injuries. Mike Onwenu, I guess, wasn't re-signed at the time, so there was question marks going forward. But, they have Chuk Okorofor at left tackle, and they have Caden Wallace behind him, the rookie. 2 guys that are really career right tackles who they're going to try and flip to the left side. You have question marks on the interior at guard. So it's kind of that was one of the, question marks again going into the season with the offensive line. And although they've added more players, it seems like they haven't necessarily really solved it. They've just added depth, but it's all really still, a puzzle and sort of mismatch.
I like that you said that. I like that you said that because are they even better? Right. Have they upgraded? Yes, more players, but last year they obviously had Clem in there, and I don't even know who's taken over this year. In regards to that, but is this the reason why all the reports are out there that Drake may not start the season as the starter?
It would make sense, the fact that they still don't have clarity on their starting 5 offensive linemen, and they kind of want to see. They kind of want to, get those top 5 guys in order before they turn it over to the rookie quarterback, right? You don't want to put out your first, your week 1 offensive line, and then 2 weeks later, or even a week later, maybe someone gets hurt, or maybe, Okorofor doesn't cut it on the left side, so you go to the rookie early, and, Cole Strange comes back, and so then you're changing out the guards, and then, really the only certainties right now feel like David Andrews at center and Mike Onwenu at right tackle. It's not even like your blindside tackle for the quarterback. So that's tough. So I could see that being one of the reasons. I mean, look, the footwork still has to be there. He's still pretty young. He's still relatively inexperienced, Drake May. So like, I don't hate the idea of them easing him into it and using Jacoby Brissett as the bridge. It kind of worked out perfectly, and it's been talked about for months that was the plan. But yeah, I think the offensive line is certainly that. Once they nail that down, and whether it's turning over to the rookies or whether it's just realizing that Cole Strange comes back healthy and they have a solid 5 guys that can play. Look, I think I tweeted this out a couple months ago, Joe. The Patriots had like 11 or 12 different offensive line combinations in 17 games. So that needs to change. That one of the reasons why the Patriots were so successful, in the mid and late 2000s when they were, or 2010s rather, when they won their second group of Super Bowls, was because their offensive line was consistent and they had the same 5 guys play just about every game. Once they can figure that out, then I think that gives you reason to turn over to Drake May.
All right, talking about Mike Cadlick, you can check out all his work, Behind the Mic podcast, and also doing some work with CLNS. So I think the Patriots are going to suck. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think they've really upgraded.
Okay.
I wonder if KJ Osborne can take a step at wide receiver. Like I'm trying to look at it, as where can they compete?
Right.
I don't think they're going to compete on the offensive line. I don't care about their running game, even though Ramondre Stevenson might. So I'm curious if KJ Osborne is that guy that can step out, and because he's had so many reps as a number 2 receiver, even though he's really a 3. But when I look at this team, man, I wonder about the coach. Like, we've heard about the changes, right? Oh, at least Bill Belichick's not out there yelling at us anymore. The vibe is so good, right? The vibe's probably great for you while you're there now, right? Like, some of the guys there.
Works easy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're chatting it up out there. I just wonder if the way this offseason went, with the way that they backtracked on things, some things Kraft said, Mayo said, and even the Jonathan Kraft involvement, I just feel like if that's how they handled their offseason and Mayo handled the offseason, like spilling the drink after making a joke about it, that's how I feel like the season's going to go. So 4.5, 5 wins, that's the betting number. Right now, what's your feeling on that?
So when the schedule came out last week, I did a way too early look and prediction game by game, like everybody does. And, obviously you're looking way too far ahead in the future, but I have them at 5-12 right now. So I'm with you. I don't think this team is going to be great next season, but I don't necessarily think we have to run and scream and call for the coach's job yet either. Now, having said that, what you just mentioned was actually something else we talked about today on the mailbag, and someone asked what it's been like covering a team that, it's not like covering a government building anymore. And it's funny because that's what it was, but it's also, how much does that really matter, right? Like, okay, everybody's friends and Gerard Mayo cares. And it's all well and good right now, but, when the team is 0-6, 2-7, what have you, do people really care if coach is nice? Do they care if we're winning football games? And I do think they're going to have a little bit of leeway, right? This team is sort of built for 2025 and beyond. Like, a lot of the players they signed this year were one-year deals. Josh Uche was one of them. Nick Leverett, who we mentioned earlier, the guard. KJ Osborne's only on a one-year deal. Like, how expendable is he realistically? I know I like him too, and I like the idea of having a number 3 who was only behind like Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen and those really solid players, obviously Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. But if he doesn't show up and the rookies play better, KJ Osborne might not even make the team. So they haven't really hamstrung themselves contract-wise with that, besides the players that they want to build around and Onwenu and Duggar and those types of guys. But I don't necessarily think a 5-12 season this year, frankly, is all that bad, because you're still working your rookie quarterback in. You have a rookie head coach.
I don't know if I can do that, Mike. I don't know if I can do another 5-win season.
You can't do what? Say that it's not that bad?
Listen, I'm wondering if Gerard Mayo can coach. If he can coach, I'm not satisfied with 5 wins. I can't sit through a 5-win season again. I can't do it.
No, I understand, but you also need to look at it, Joe, as rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, rookie personnel
how'd that go for the Texans last year? How'd that work?
No, it was great. 100%.
It was great.
I'm with you. It can work. it can work, but if it doesn't, I still think it's okay. And if we looked at the Texans last year, and the Texans went 5-12, but C.J. Stroud showed promise, the defense played well, D'Amico Ryans looked like a leader, but they didn't win as many games, I think we still look at that team as one that's rebuilding and not calling for D'Amico Ryans' head just yet.
This is why I feel the way I do. Again, I'm please again, don't think I'm taking this out on you. This is me.
No, I don't. I get it.
This is me, upset with ownership for, again, not spending, not acquiring, replacing, not allocating, and basically, hey, this guy's available, let's get him. Or, hey, this guy's you drafted Drake May. I understand that a lot of quarterbacks sit, and I'm fine with sitting. That I'm fine with. With. I'm in on that. In. It's the whole, we're going to suck because we can't play our quarterback because our line stinks and we spend no money. And can the guy even coach? So therefore, if you even play May at the end of the year or next year, do you even know if your coach can coach? That's the thing that I'm stuck on.
Yeah. Again, I think it's impossible to tell right now. I think it's just going to, I know we have to have, you have a radio show tonight, so you got to talk about it tonight. But you just got to see if it works with Jerod Mayo, and I don't think we should necessarily call for his head yet. But the other stuff I look at too, you mentioned how they allocated resources, right? And everyone says the offense sucked, and you brought all the offensive players back, but they brought the good offensive players back, Joe. They brought back Mike Onwenu. They extended David Andrews, Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne's at least a leader and a pretty solid player, right? Yeah. And then on defense. The defense was never the problem, and they extend Kyle Duggar, and Uche is back for 1 year, and Avery Jennings is back for 1 year. They're still building a foundation. I get it. I know fans are going to be pissed off, and I know that everybody's used to the Patriots winning Super Bowls, but this is last year was a disaster. We wanted the rebuild. Everybody asked for the rebuild. Everybody wanted Billo. We want the new quarterback. Get rid of Mac. Things take time, and this is going to take time as much as this stinks to hear.
You're okay with sucking. Mike Cadlick on the show.
Not okay with sucking. I want promise, but 5 wins isn't as bad as we want, because then you get another draft pick, and then you continue to build this thing like you want to.
So I can't write an article tonight that says, Cadlick, it's okay to suck.
And if you want to, it might do pretty well for the page views, so I'll at least retweet it.
You know what, though? Being real, if we were just hanging out at the Pleasant or whatever,
yeah.
This team sucks. They're feeding everybody. Hey, they did bring back this guy, and hey, you know what? The defense wasn't that bad last year. Can the coach? No, he's a nice guy. He's worked here. He's done this. Can he coach?
But you already think he can't coach, Joe? Because it seems like you already think he can't coach when we haven't even seen it happen yet.
I saw his offseason, and that's what I'm relating it to.
Yeah, but that's not coaching. That's personnel. And the personnel really is on Elliott Wolf's plate.
Oh,
is Elliott Wolf bad? Has Elliott Wolf been bad? Because I think Elliott Wolf's done a pretty good job.
Well, listen, the only thing I can judge Elliott Wolf off of is the draft pick that was so easy to make.
Yeah, but they also brought in a couple wide receivers, and are you not a fan of the wide receivers they drafted? Well, know Jalen Polk. You're a college football guy.
I know Jalen Polk, and I think, I'm fine with the pick, but do I think he went a little early? Yeah. Do I feel like he's in New England because of his relationship with the wide receivers coach at Washington? Yes. Do I think they like his character? Yes. Can he play?
Oh, that was a character draft. It was a big-time character draft. I'm with you there.
So we can do this all night. Again, I just, can the guy coach? Can Jerod Mayo coach and make the team better? I feel like this hasn't been discussed at all. Yeah, it's great. The vibe's great. Yeah, they signed these guys. Can the guy coach? That's what I want to know.
We got to see. We haven't seen it yet. We still got time. We're still, what is it, May 22nd? I mean, come on, give the guy a chance.
All right.
They have a little bit better personnel groupings, a little bit this year. New vibe, better mood. Let's see if it translates to the football field. We can have this conversation next year about if Jerod Mayo can't coach just yet.
All right, Mike. I'm just firing up the grill. I've been on one tonight, so I apologize.
That's okay. Hey, I'm here. Apologize. We'll talk. We can talk it out.
No, you're good. You can be a punching bag. That's fine. No, I don't know what it is. I've been on one tonight, and I just I don't know. I feel like I'm just not letting anybody off the hook tonight.
I did hear you talking about the national media talking about the Celtics, and the fact that they thought they sucked on offense last night was pretty dumb. You see Stephen A. say that?
Stephen A., who was cheering on the sideline for the New York Knicks, embarrassing himself, rooting for the home team. But yet the Celtics were disastrous on offense, yet the New York Knicks could barely score 85 points.
Yep, I'm with you. Go C's. That was a good game last night.
It was a good game. All right, Mike. Good talking to you, my man. We'll do it again soon.
Too.
Check him out, CLNS. He's Mike Cadlick. Appreciate you, bro. Behind the mic.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. There's Mike.
Later, guys.
He's out. He had pizza tonight. 3 pizzas. Imagine 3. Dude, how does he stay skinny? How does he stay skinny eating all that pizza? Is it the lettuce that he puts on it? All right, we're going to go to break. I'm Joe Murray. Here's the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Florida Panthers lead.
confidence. We have no expectation of personnel changes coming during this upcoming off.
Was there anything in there today about Montgomery getting an extension? Because he's a lame duck. Yep. Lame duck. But do you know what we did get today? Sweeney vows to be aggressive with cap space. He plans to use it. Approximately $21 million this offseason. Another $5 million if they trade Allmark, which we'll get to in a little bit here. We know the biggest needs for the Bees are forward. You know, Bruins forward scored 2 goals or fewer in 8 of their final 9 playoff games. That's not good, everybody. Sweeney mentioned some other things. He's looking for more forechecking, generating more offense this year. He said he's taking points from Cam Neely. So it sounds like they're looking for a power forward with speed. Speed. Do you know who's fast on the Bruins? Jake DeBrusk. Right? Wins a lot of 50-50 battles, no doubt. What is the latest when it comes to Jake DeBrusk? And I know that after the year, DeBrusk mentioned, hey, I'm still waiting for my extension. Sweeney said negotiations are a two-way street. We took an aggressive position with Jake. No different than other players. He's been a big part of our group. So neither side has said no on a contract before July 1st, but I don't know, that tone sounds like he's out. And then there's the Allmark Swayman. The Bruins did mention their number one to-do list this offseason was locking up number one Jeremy Swayman, mentioning it's a clear priority. They've already engaged in conversations. Priority number one right now. They talked, and we all remember the arbitration hearing a year ago. Sweeney confirmed that it was, it's possible the two sides end up in an arbitration again this summer. If he goes, no, I don't plan on it. He might file, but that's how the system works. They don't plan on it. They want to give him an extension. So look for a long-term extension. But what did Don Sweeney say about Linus Allmark? Well, you know what? I think someone that we know may have asked the question. Let's hear that.
This is for both Cam and Don. Ty Anderson, 95 Sports Hub. Linus Allmark has made it pretty clear that he loves being here, and if he has his say, he wants to stay here. Is it feasible? Is it realistic to have potentially 12 mil, 13 mil in goaltending, given the needs and the aggressiveness that you've talked about displaying in other positions this summer?
Well, I appreciate you negotiating for Jeremy in terms of doing math, reverse engineering of math. But again, those things will take care of themselves. No conversation I'm going to have, with a player in terms of what we're trying to do until we have to have a conversation is really going to get public. And I hope you all respect that, because ultimately that's what a player, as a former player, I would hope would happen. We're going to find a landing spot with Jeremy Swayman, and if we can make the math work, we're going to have the best tandem. If we can't, we're going to explore, or Linus, may come to us and change his mind. That may occur as well. Right now, he's really happy. We were very happy to sign Linus, and in a perfect world, we would keep the tandem, because I think it's damn good. But we're going to explore opportunities. My phone's going to ring. I'm going to make calls. That's just what the job requires. And fortunately, at times, unfortunately, things start to leak out. And that's your job. You guys do a hell of a job of figuring those things out, piecing together. Some guys are really wrong, but it doesn't stop you from throwing it out there, and that's okay. It's good for the business overall. It's good for hockey in terms of drawing attention and eyes to it. So I understand it.
No. You took shots at the media. You wanted to tell people how to do their jobs. No. Linus Allmark cannot be on this team next year. If you're going to re-sign Swayman. Just do it. Get rid of the $5 million or get a player. See you later. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy to do. But if Allmark wants to stay, find a team that will take him. Brian's in Fitchburg. Hey, Brian.
Hey, 2 quick points, Joe. First, you can't really take that list seriously when they don't have appetite for destruction in the top 10.
Oh, my God, dude. That list is junk.
I agree with Prince. I agree with Nevermind. The other, no appetite for destruction. I mean, come on. I mean, the conversation ends there. But when it comes to the Bruins, you know what? The other night when I watched Game 6, last year, you know what? I threw my hat. I threw my hoodie. I threw my replica WWE title belt against the wall. I was pissed. This year, I just didn't care. And that's one thing that's going to ruin this team is apathy. You know what? You're going to get to a point where people are going to expect disappointment, and it's unfortunate with this team. But they need to use Allmark, and they need to find young centers. 2 teams that bowed out of the playoffs because of goaltending, New Jersey and Carolina, have young centers. Those are the 2 teams you need to trade with. Great show, buddy.
New Jersey just hired a new coach today, too. So, Hey, it's the Be a Man guy.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm driving home from Newburyport, and it's great to hear you at nighttime. Kind of guide me home, buddy.
You got an event at one of those bars up there?
Yeah, I was a celebrity bartender at a place up there for a little bit.
What? You were a celebrity bartender?
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you wear?
I drank more than the patrons, unfortunately. So that's why I need someone to talk to.
So what do you wear? Just your Be a Man shirt?
Yeah, the hat backwards and all that crap, you know.
Yeah. Do you have like bottle openers on your belt?
No, I just do it with my hand on my teeth.
You can do it with your teeth?
Why not?
Yeah. What do you think about the Bruins?
All right. So Felger's made the best point in the history of the world about the Bruins. All right. Get rid of Lindholm. Get rid of Allmark. Get rid of Zacha. They don't show up in the playoffs. Sign Bertuzzi, please. Get a good center, like a power forward center. Get a backup goalie. Get a hard-nosed defenseman. Get rid of those three idiots. I can't stand them. They don't show up in the playoffs. We want to go far in the playoffs, right? That's the objective.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's where you start.
Have you ever told them to be a man?
Tell who? Those guys?
The Bruins.
They don't understand English. Those guys. I was like, look.
We got the music's coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub. midday, Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
Still, I've got one more hour to go. So I just looked up. I haven't read my Twitter in a little bit. Excuse me, X or whatever the hell you want to call it these days. Hey, what happened to the music? Yeah, there we go. Because today was a good day. Joe, may I suggest Surviving the Game, 1994, an awesome movie for guys who like movies.
Put that on a billboard. Hey, this is a movie for people who like movies.
Joe, we need a nickname for when one intense sports topic bleeds into the next, like a Joe Tsunami or a Murray Avalanche.
You had a potential segment, Shut Up, we might be doing.
Yes. Shut up!
What about something you mentioned earlier in the program, Joey's Hit List?
Oh, the hit list.
That might be a segment. Who's on Joey's hit list this week?
You just made the list. Let's see.
You know what? You just made the list!
No more filling in for others, Joey Murr. Be in your spot every night, all year round, says Aaron Cole. I have been on this show for a long the Jonami sounds like a specialty shave ice. Joe, Surviving the Game and Hard Target make great double features. Thinking about the Bruins. Had to turn you off. We have the Celtics in the playoffs and Patriots OTA. Bruins suck. Will not win the cup within the next 7 years. Move on. Their season's over. Joey Murr, rather hear you talk about food, bro. And then I had Joe, more Bruins. I want more Drake May sucks coverage. Joe, you're standing on business. The next segment of the Joe Murray Show has been brought to you by the Felger and Maz postgame show. If you call in saying you heard Felger or Maz say this, I will hang up on you. They must have really pissed everybody off today, huh? Like, I'm mad about the national media. I already know what those guys are saying. But, like, today? How many people have called in and made a Felger or Maz reference on this show tonight?
Yeah, Maserati.
See? 10, says Christina. This is not the Felger and Maz postgame show.
Yeah, that Wisconsin guy's really bugging me.
You know, there's another thing I'll say about Felger. This guy is not from here, but you know what? He's lived here probably longer than some of these people. I think he's been here for like 35 years.
Probably longer than I've lived here. I've lived here my whole life.
He's lived here long. Yes, he's lived here longer than you, Skaz. But they must have really got to everybody today. I'm more upset about the national media. Too much hockey talk. I don't think so. Good balance besides hockey. Blah, 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 blah. One thing I did want to mention. I mean, think about this NFL announcing it will run a trial throughout the preseason for electronically measuring first downs. I don't know what that would mean for the chain game. You know, like
see you later.
Well, I don't know. When I played ball, your friend's father was always like the guy who held the chain, right?
You want some home cooking on those first downs.
In high school, But we're talking gambling, right? Like,
yeah, bring in the robots.
So that's my question. So this could have been an in or out. Are you in or out on electronic measuring first downs?
I'm in.
I mean, it's by the buck, right? It's not by the eye. An umpire in baseball, he might have his own strike zone, right? So sometimes refs like to call real tight in the NBA. But you really can't mess with the old measuring first line. Give me the laser! All right, birthdays today. Christina helped us out with these, so thank you very much. Julian Edelman, 38 years old today. will not be a Hall of Famer. I stand by this take. Wes Welker did more in his Patriots career than Julian Edelman did in his entire career. But what's the difference? Rings and playoffs. That doesn't make Wes Welker suck, by the way. To be consistent. You know what I would wish? This is something I would want. Could we make new Biggie songs without Diddy?
I'd be in.
Like, just get rid of Diddy. We all should have listened to here I am, Suge Knight. We all should have listened to Suge Knight years ago.
52.
Like, who would have thought that? Because remember Suge at the awards was like, I ain't no producer that's coming up here dancing on videos. Geez, when you're really, really wrong, I don't want to see you apologize for something you've probably been doing for years. Out on Diddy, out. We shouldn't even call him that anymore. You know what? No more. He's done. You know her.
Yeah, she's very good. She was in she was very young in the True Grit movie, which she was excellent in. She was in a Disney Plus Jeremy Renner show that was okay. But yeah, she's pretty good.
Singer Morrissey, 65 years old today. Johnny Gill was Wallach, 57 years old. Naomi Campbell, 54 and doing well. Sean Gunn, 50 years old today. Jennifer Goodwin, 46 years old today. I like if there's really anybody else there. We've kind of gone slow on the birthdays lately.
I got a couple, Joe.
Wait, by the way, what was 9 months ago? Like, why are the birthdays kind of low right now? Oh, Novak Djokovic.
That was one I had. Djokovic is 37.
Okay.
And did you get this one? I don't. Tommy John is 81 years old.
The surgery man.
And there was a couple big ones that are no longer with us. Laurence Olivier, very famous stage actor and actor back in the day. And our very own RIP to a soccer legend, Paul Mariner, who was the voice of the Revs. We're flying tonight.
We're going to talk more Celtics, everybody. More Celtics. More. All right, that was the musings. I'm Joe Mario. Let's get the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBCFM, bus from the Town Fair Tire Studio, the home of the Bruins, Patriots, Revs, and Celtics.
Come on, Maxey, step back. Three is good.
Boston's home for sports is 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, now the Florida Panthers lead the Rangers 1-0 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Matthew Tkachuk with a goal in that one. In the third quarter, Timberwolves lead 79-77 over the Mavs. Kyrie Irving, 26 points so far in that one. And the Red Sox got an 8-5 win tonight. Brian Bayo, the winner. He is now 5-2 on the season. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive.
You're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Tommy John, good underwear. The Joker. People are comparing me to Suge Knight. Which, yes, I've been not the first time that's happened to me. People have their thoughts on Diddy. He's out. We're not playing his music anymore.
What's going on, Joe? Listen, I was thinking, you were talking about, something about a full moon tonight and being on one and apathy, and I was thinking, have you ever heard of apathy syndrome?
The what?
You ever heard of apathy syndrome? It happened all over Japan in 2009. A bunch of kids in this one region. And then on a full moon, a big shadow would show. Well, actually, that's not important. Listen, I got something about the Bruins, Joe. And I'm going to be honest. I think they got the guys you want to keep around anymore.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
We'll figure that out. Apathy syndrome? What?
Oh, yeah. Swept Japan back in 2009.
So what is
and
it?
then
what
on
is
a
it?
full moon,
so a full moon happened, and then everybody lost motivation?
Yeah, pretty much. That was what was happening, apparently. I don't know.
Why are you bringing this up?
Well, people were talking about full moons and being apathetic.
No, you're right. You're right. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I have an increased level of consciousness.
Okay, so that's good because the legend is that it was all because of these like shadows. If you ever know Jungian psychology and all that.
Oh, bro, no.
Something about that. They're crazy stuff, Joe. Crazy urban legends.
Mac, listen to me. I'm fascinated. I really am.
Yeah.
But I never did that in school.
Well, I mean that's good. I wouldn't want you to be, one of the lost, so to speak.
No, and I'll be honest with you, Mac. I don't really remember anything about school anymore. Now that I've.
Oh, neither do I, and I'm still in school. Well, is that what I have to look forward to in 20 years? I'm just not going to remember anything.
It may have been the marijuana.
Ah, yes.
The alcohol too.
Did you go to a lot of Fish concerts, Joe? Is that why you just lost your memory from all the pot?
No. I would say more. Concerts maybe, but not them. Like Tool.
Oh yeah, I know Tool.
You know Tool?
Yeah, I know Tool. I know 311. I'm a big 2000s rock guy. I know all those guys.
Three who? What?
I know 311. I know Incubus.
311?
Yeah, the band that made like 2000s bands.
Yeah, like who's the best 2000s band?
Ooh, the best 2000s band, man. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of Zebrahead, man. Playmate of the Year, one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
Outside of that, I mean, geez. This is more. Lauryn Hill was number one, the one album she ever released.
Yep.
Yeah, which I like that, but I mean, there was a lot of stuff that got left off there. There was a really good Jeff Buckley album that got left off there. Grace, I think it was.
Jeff Buckley? Oh, I was intrigued. Something happened, Mac. It wasn't me. He's smart. No, he's really smart. I like Mac. I've met Mac. Do you know who Jeff Buckley is? I have a buddy named Jeff Buckley from Rosendale. Topher!
Oh, my God. What the heck?
Topher!
Joe!
What's going on?
Nothing much. What's up?
You were gone.
I don't know. Maybe Skaz did something again.
Topher, who's the best 2000s band?
Oh, my God.
Did you like
Dude, I'm lucky.
Did you like 311?
Yeah, I like the follow-up 313.
What's up, buddy?
Why? 311? What is going on?
It's one of those.
Someone's
nights.
having happy sauce.
I've been on one tonight, man. So I feel like everybody else is too.
I know. I've been in there with the YouTube chat.
Oh, that's
blowing
right.
it up.
You're the angry turn-up. How did that happen?
Yep, that's right.
What is an angry turn-up?
You ever seen a happy turnip? Just happens.
There's not many days I look at turnips.
No, it's pulling the bones out of those ribs. It was glorious,
So
and they just slid right out. Fantastic.
Do you cook them first and then pull the bone, or do you cook and then bone?
I cook and then pull the bone out.
Got it.
Yeah, it's more easily cuttable, and you can also serve it like quicker.
And
so this way people just munch and go.
And you got your propane.
Yeah, I did get that, dude. That was disappointing.
Question about that: how do you feel about charcoal versus propane?
If you're using like a smoker, or you're using wood chips itself, then charcoal. If you're just doing cooking, propane. Easy.
I love charcoal at a tailgate.
Oh, see, you didn't stay to tailgate because that's where it's at.
Nice burger on a charcoal.
Oh, see, I got to settle with this Domino's pizza I got in front.
Ooh, I heard they have a New York style now.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I wasn't too impressed for now, so I just went with like the medium.
Oh, I'm thin crust all day.
Joe, if you next time you order a thin crust, not kidding, barbecue sauce on the thin crust, chicken, so a little bit of onion, and then pop on the cheddar cheese, bro. Oh.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Thanks, Topher. It's a nice little article we might be able to get to this summer. Charcoal versus propane. Mike's at Merrimack. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Joe. How are you tonight?
How are you?
Great show. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
I just want to say I've got a new nickname for Mr. Sean.
Oh, God.
Combs.
Are you going to keep it clean or no? No, Scats. Thank you, Scats. That was, you know what? That was the right call. You quarterbacked us to the break.
It's a chunky. Uh-oh, you got a chunky.
Here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I got some facts. That's F-A-C-T-S, not F-A-X. Facts regarding the Celtics, their defense, their offense, and Tatum's involvement in the big win. Well, let's talk to Paul in Connecticut. Hello, Paul. How are you, sir?
Hey, Joe, it's Einbein, man.
Einbein from the chat. He's here tonight.
Yes. Shout out to the Twitch/YouTube fam.
There they are.
I don't know what to say. I just called.
So Paul,
talk about
let
food.
me ask you this. Well, we'll get into the food in a minute. So you're in Connecticut.
Yes.
And but you're like on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border?
Yeah.
Okay, and the signal comes in nice and clear out there?
Well, I mean, I'm online, so I don't know.
All right, so you listen online. All right, so last I know that we've chatted, you're a big barbecue guy.
Yeah, I love. One of the people talked about using propane out.
You're out on propane? Why is that?
Oh, you got to use wood chunks, smoke, fire, all that.
So you have like a little pit and you do this yourself?
Well, I used to have a pit. Now I have I'm disabled, so I have a new pit that feeds charcoal by gravity and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Ooh. So that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Charcoal gravity.
But you can't use propane. That's cheating.
But isn't it easy though to just propane it up and
what now?
Like why is it cheating though? Like I mean
because propane's not cooking on fire, man. You got to use wood and chunks and barbecue.
What is something?
Whatever, man. Come on.
What is something that somebody should always cook on a charcoal?
Oh, steak. Steak has to be on fire.
Have you ever air fried a steak?
No, God, no.
Have you ever used the air fryer?
No, never.
All right, man.
I'm out on the air fryer.
No. Give it a chance. Have you ever tried it?
No, I will not.
You're just going to be stubborn and not do it, huh?
Oh, I will absolutely be stubborn and not do it, bro.
Paul, what do you have man. What do you eat for breakfast every day?
Yogurt and banana.
Oh, okay. So you do yogurt. I make eggs and sausage. Sometimes I pop my sausage in the air fryer. 400. No, 7 minutes.
Out on air fryers. Sorry.
Why though? What is the issue?
Because it's a thing. It's like the current
it's new. So it's new technology, and you're out.
No, it's not new technology.
But
my oven is an air fryer.
Do you have a convection oven?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're out on new things.
Oh, come on, Joe. Don't do that to me, man. Yeah, I'm old, okay? I'm old.
But wait.
What do you want?
Do you watch on streams? How about that? Do you watch like Peacock and all those?
Well, I watch you on stream, yeah. I watch everything on stream.
Am I on your phone, your television, or your iPad?
Right now, you're on my computer.
Computer, okay. Now, can you find the YouTube on your television?
Of course.
So, do you watch on your television too?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I can't chat on my television.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's easier to do my phone or my computer.
Nice. And you didn't know what you were going to talk about tonight.
And now all my people on chat are giving me crap for being old and not, whatever.
Well, you did good.
What can I say, man? I love you, Joe.
We got to get that. We got to get you air frying someday, man.
No, never.
even if it was just it showed up to your house already plugged in, ready to go.
No, you can send me one. I will not use it. I'm old school. What can you say?
Thanks, Einbein. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks. All right, the chat calling into the show. It's already fallen off the rails. All right, Jimmy's in Newburyport. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Joe. What's up? So, Bruins, and then if you'll have me give you a food question, I'd love that. But Bruins, what do we do with Allmark, or are there any moves we need to make?
I think they need a top center. Elias Lindholm would be my guy. Stamkos would be like something else. But I think they need that type of name up at the top of the line.
All right, and then food. I'll give you two, but you can answer one if you like. What air fryer do you like to use? Or I know you said the Starboard Galley you like up in Newburyport. If you're going there, what are you going to order? You can answer both or one. Fine.
Well,
everybody. Thank you.
All right, cool. Newburyport is outstanding. It would have been a beautiful day today. I like the port too. That's okay. But yeah, I go to Starboard Galley, and I will get myself probably the clams with the fries and the onion ring. And,
I was out on the boat out of Newburyport today. It was beautiful. Was going to swear, but won't do it.
Nope. You know what else is great out there? Mission Oak. You ever been up there?
They have the half our menu like a couple days of the week. I forget, but yeah, pretty good.
All right, I go to Plum Island a lot, so I go out to that area.
I grew up on Plum Island.
Dude,
I love you, Joe.
Let me ask you real quick. The refuge that's out there, right?
Yeah.
So like that to me is like the best beach in New England. When I cut through that refuge and go all the way to the end there, that's the best spot.
Sandy Point.
Don't tell anybody.
Well, yeah, Cranes Beach is on the other side, Sandy Point. And then they closed the whole thing for piping plovers up until, like, end of August. It's crazy.
The greenheads are awful.
Yeah, I think I'm going to name my boat the Greenhead. So, yeah.
Well, I would like to, I like boats, Jimmy. Yeah? Maybe I'll bring my air fryer, my Kasari air fryer on the boat. What do you think?
I think you answered all my questions. I love it.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. I use the Kasari. We have the Ninja, the two-sided here at the radio station. It's got like the double barrel. It's like double fisting, but for the air fryer. Get the final headline of the night. You know what? I apologize if you got a little upset by me not talking Celtics for the last hour. We'll get right back into it coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Again, I apologize.
at least I want to thank the Celtics for their transparency. If they do win a title this year, no chance at a dynasty. They're just too weird. This is the strangest team. They classify as almost a bad team at home in the playoffs. Unheard of. Tatum, he's their best player, but Al Horford shot 12 threes. I don't know if they're well coached. What actually is their offense? Let's be honest. Pacers blew it. 21 turnovers, 2 ugly ones late, but Jason Tatum did not have a field goal or an assist in the last 9 minutes of regulation. He was fine in overtime, Tatum was, but come on, it's the Spurs. It's the Pacers. They're young kids. You could tell from their turnovers they weren't quite ready for the moment. You expect them to pull back on the road in overtime a little. But in a star-driven league, Tatum not only disappoints, he just disappears. And I've been on this for 4 years.
Just facts, just stats. No agendas, no opinions. Non-Tatum minutes. Non-Tatum minutes means minutes the Celtics played without Jason Tatum on the court and with him on the bench. So, with Jason Tatum on the court last night, the Celtics were a plus 20. That sounds good, right, Skaz? Plus 20? Pretty good, right? Okay. With him on the bench, they were a minus 15. Not good. That is not good. So, Tatum late in regulation and in overtime, 10 points. Here's another one. For the Boston was terrible defensively crowd, the Celtics scored 133 points last night. Their most of the playoffs. And they are now 9-2, which no other team has ever done. How about that? Some more things here. Derek White, 9 assists. Guess who they were to? Jason Tatum. Tatum had 11 points on those assists. Oh, sorry. 5 of Derek White's 9. I apologize. 5 of the 9 for 11 points. And some of those were the big threes in overtime. So for those who say you want someone else to run the offense, maybe it is Derek White. But Jason Tatum had double-digit rebounds in 9 of the Celtics' 11 playoff games this year. Again, I gave this out earlier. They're 9-2. They're 9-0 when he has 10 or more rebounds. 0-2 when he does less than that. But Tatum went after mismatches against the Pacers. When guarded by Nembhard, he went 5 of 6, 1 of 2 from free throw, had 12 points. When Shepard went against him, 9 points. When Halliburton defended him, 4 points. Now, Aaron Nesmith, he went 1 of 7 shooting, 5 points, hit 3 free throws. And when he was the primary defender on Pascal Siakam, Siakam went 1 for 5, 2 points. Jaylen Brown was great early. Late in the game, hit some big free throws, had big rebounds, and made clutch plays, including the game-tying shot. And I'll say this one more time. In clutch time minutes, there's been 10 of them. In game 1, they had one of their best defensive ratings and one of their best offensive ratings. So far in the playoffs, they're 2-0 in clutch situations this year. And there's a ton of narratives. It's getting comical. They win too much. The path's too easy. They haven't been tested. They won by too little. They're disgraceful frauds. They've lost once in a series. Stephen A., Tim Bontemps saying he was terrible. Colin Cowherd right there saying he disappears. What are you guys watching? Are these just takes you get paid for? The Celtics will have to find a different approach on the pick and roll. Maybe that does involve Jason Tatum. And Al Horford last night struggled. Siakam owned him. Al on Halliburton, 8 points. When Cornette was on Turner, he had 9 points. But what happened when you put Tatum on him? That slowed things down. And Drew Holiday, when he guarded Halliburton last night, 10 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Didn't know that. But Drew Holiday, over his last 4 playoff games, averaging almost 19 points a game. He's been really good. He's been really good. So, just wanted to bring up some of those numbers when it came to Tatum and Brown. By the way, they won the game. They won the game. It was a statement win. Best record in the NBA. Blew a lead, fell behind. We're on the cusp of losing. Tied the game. And then, who was the guy that put him away? Jason Tatum. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We got Ken, or Shooter, who's got a Celtics question. What's up, man?
Yeah. Hey, and shout out to the chat. I said I wasn't going to call tonight, but I decided to anyway.
Nice.
Well, first of all, for the Celtics, with all the injuries that the other teams have had since they started the playoffs, are people going to put an asterisk on them if they win the championship? I mean, it's kind of dumb in a way that they're going to base it on that, if anything, but I got a feeling people are going to do that. What do you think? Probably.
All right. Appreciate you, Shooter.
But yeah, all right. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, dude. He had a food question. Forgot to go to him. By the way, this basketball game is getting a little interesting here. Seeing this, guys? Anthony Edwards, 4-12. Not
anymore.
Oh, how's he doing now?
Anthony Edwards is 6 of 15 with 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Okay, that's not bad.
So if they lose, is that a bad game?
Well, how'd Jaden McDaniels do?
Jaden McDaniels has 24 points on 9 of 15 shooting.
So did Jaden McDaniels bail out Anthony Edwards?
Some people are asking.
How about Luka? He was getting outscored by Kyrie, right?
Not anymore.
Okay, how's Luka now?
Luka has 31 on 11 of 25 shooting. And Kyrie has 28 on 12 of 22.
Okay. And Anthony Edwards just had another big 3. Well, maybe I think you're up to date now.
Yes.
I'm behind. Okay. And then Kyrie went to the hole. I'm interested in this series. Wow, Luka just hit a huge 3. Wow.
If they lose, doesn't count.
That's the guy I fear.
He's killed the Celtics. He has.
When I look at if the Celtics get by this round, who's next? It's Luka. It's not Kyrie. It's not Edwards. It's none of those guys. It's Luka Doncic. Because I've seen him do it against the Celtics before. Late in games and clutch. I watched him hit a 3 in Boston on a Sunday.
That was Kevin Garnett Day, wasn't it? I think so.
I was like, man, this guy.
I believe that was the day Tom Brady unretired as well.
That's right.
Yeah, I was working that day. That was a long one.
So we got our eyes up on the up there. Let's see what else. Les Joe. They suck. He wants Les Joe and more of other shows. Well, again, we're here every night.
Every night.
7 o'clock. Sometimes there's games, but when the games end, we'll be celebrating a Celtics championship because they're the best team in the NBA. And the national media is so lazy that all they do is say Jason Tatum disappeared, but don't look at anything in the overtime. We got to play that Bond. Can we play that Bond Toms one more time before we go to break? This one, I never thought that, who was LeBron James guy again that always
Windy.
I never thought Windhorst would be the guy who made the most sense. And by the way, I don't blame Windhorst for, carrying LeBron's jock all those years. Sorry. I don't blame him for covering LeBron. I rephrased that. I feel bad. Because you know what? In the end, he's a good reporter, and he got the insight to LeBron. So he should be credited for that, right? There's somebody who actually LeBron trusted in. But when he hears this audio, he even steps in and is like, whoa.
We are killing Tatum for having a 36-12-4
I know,
game.
but
he had he was terrible.
I understand.
I know he put up numbers. He was not good.
I was
he was
actually
also plus 20, but I mean, I know
he was.
He definitely disappeared for a significant, crucial stretch of the game.
I mean, this was a loss, and Tatum was going to be wearing the horns.
No, Holiday saved them, and Jaylen Brown's crazy three saved.
Well, Tatum had a very good overtime. Tatum made plays in overtime, and that that counts. That matters.
He did make the 2 plays at the end. He also, like I said, up until those 2 shots, he was 2 for 10 in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Did they win? But did they win? Did they win the game? You never said that. You never said it. You said he was terrible. He was a plus 20, and he was terrible. Cowherd, invisible. Stephen A., the offense was brutal. They scored the highest points all year long. It wasn't pretty. You can be critical, but be factual and be honest with yourself. Was Jason Tatum invisible last night? And the narrative, Jaylen Brown bailed out Tatum? If you want to believe that, I hope it helps you sleep at night. I really do. They're a team. They're a team. They're a team. 617-779-0985. So the Florida Panthers are winning 3-0. Mike wants to talk about it. I'm like,
hey, Joe Kachuk again. You know, the daddy of the Rangers, I bet you he's going to take control just like tonight. And Bennett, look at Bennett, scored. I know it was an empty net, but still, man, Florida's going to run. I told you, man.
You did?
They're going to take the cup this year.
Yeah, so what's the narrative if they lose? Would it be back-to-back losers? Is that what the narrative would be? And Kachuk can't win the big game? Is that what it would be?
No.
Or Bobrovsky? See,
I don't think so. No way.
If I'm a Panther fan, I would tread lightly. Tread lightly. Losing back-to-back Stanley Cups, not good. Imagine if you didn't even get back there. What would the narrative be for Kachuk on that one? Or Bobrovsky? Or all
It's a chunky! Uh-oh, you got a chunky!
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll have the final probably of this Dallas-Minnesota game coming down to the wire. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening.
midnight tomorrow night. So be sure to tune in for that. We do have an interesting finish here. 9 seconds to go. Dallas up 106-104 on Minnesota. So let's see how this thing finishes out. But the inbound pass was almost stolen. And I don't want to give the play-by-play, but Dallas will be going to the free throw line up to 7 seconds to go. No defensive team player, no All-NBA.